the moves, they're not hard to find. Strong arm tactics so loud, only themselves in mind. Every player has dreams of making ORCA fame. They'll live on in the minds of those who get in their way. ORCA's all say, don't come for me. Mid-third boots, they're so vain. As we set up the podcast webcam, the pod is here to talk ORCA game. ORCA King CK with delusions of fame. In this LRG world, he's the apex predator. Dani and Jules in tow, always ready to go. Now it's time for the show. They're the apex predators.
Hello and welcome to the ORCA Pod, the apex predators of Australian Survivor LRG podcasting. A little over 2 years ago, we started an ambitious project to cover the then released 11 seasons that were on our fingertips, on our eyeballs, available on YouTube to date. We had you, the community, the fans, vote for what were the worst to best seasons. And over the last 2 years, over almost 50 episodes, over hours of coverage, we have covered all of those seasons to bring us here to this moment, covering, as determined by you, don't at me, the people have spoken. It is Playing with Fire, my season. It is not a coincidence. It is just fact and destiny that we come here to cover my season, and I get the opportunity, not the opportunity, the pleasure of talking about myself for 3/4 of this podcast. And then I'll just talk about the shit I was doing on the jury. So it's going to be endless CK, and we know that is the content you are all here to be for. The content you are here for. But it can't just be me talking about me. We need other people to talk about me so that we all enjoy what's going on. So let me, of course, welcome my fabulous co-hosts. First, welcoming Dani.
Hi, I'm so excited to be back. So excited to be doing Playing with Fire. Not only do we get to talk about you, but Jules and I get to talk about ourselves and the first time that we did this, because that was the first time we became orcas. So it's just orcarific all around.
And thank you, Dani. And let me bring in Jules.
Hello. Speaking of ORCA, that whole intro was basically your plea for why you should be ORCA of the season.
There'll be many more, please. I haven't done the notes for this episode. You guys are going to exchange notes, and I simply have comments on why I should be the ORCA on a per episode basis, and that's all I'll be talking to. I have these. I've watched it and made notes. I would like to also note that we are now broadcasting from our very own platform. We want to thank the time we spent on Live Reality Games, Dustin over there, and the support he gave us at the start of our program. We've decided to leave the watery nest and swim out into the cold oceans of our own coverage. So we have our own YouTube. We are now broadcasting to our Facebook. So please, if you are watching, give us, give us a like and subscribe. Look at this. Wow. Look at that.
Amazing.
Yeah. All right. So click on that, give us a like and subscribe. And for those of you that prefer the audio version, we will be arranging a podcast stream on Apple and Spotify in shortly. So that will be available as well. I already had people asking me about that. Thank you to people who listen not to the video. That is all of the precursor coverage. I think I should talk about what's coming. We're going to get into the recap deep dive right now. Next week, I will have a deep dive interview with the winner, Denise, from that season she played with Malcolm, or maybe John, but they're the same person, so with the same game. So either or, we'll get them on the show and talk about the intentional Matt Singh that he created. Then there's the tea party with Annabelle hosting her own season's tea party. And can you guys guess who's on the tea party? Have a guess. Have I told you?
Oh, okay. Laurel.
Laurel, yeah.
Of course.
Caitlin?
There's so many good options.
It is Caitlin, yes.
You can have the whole cast and it would be fun.
Well, the third person should be me, but you're going to get enough of me on this. So it won't
it's
be
not
me.
you. Is it Kate?
I think Kate would be a great option, but Annabelle really wanted to have Chloe on there. So we'll hear the vibes of
that'll
Chloe.
be good.
I love that. Amazing.
I actually do love that because Chloe in real life is actually a completely fucking different person to whoever showed up at this game. And we all know that because we've met her. But for the people that have not met Chloe in real life, you're going to get a shock because it is and it's not because she's 4 years older or whatever. She's just a different fucking person.
I had met Chloe before Playing with Fire came out. And then when I saw like the my preseason assessment, I had her as like second boot. I didn't realize that was the same person because I had met her. I was like, I don't know this person. And then when she messaged me, I was like, oh yeah, that's when the penny dropped. Like I did not know.
Yeah, right.
She came into the game with this like nursing student sweetheart, naive, gullible, just there for a nice time. And then suddenly Insta's filled with her like pole dancing and getting wild, and like she's super made up. Like she loves to dress up, makeup, nails, the works, and she fully just just the way she dressed for that show is how she probably never dresses ever.
Mm-hmm.
So she had game. She should have talked about these things in her final tribal, and maybe we'll get there. But she was playing the game into a character type that would be seen as someone who's along for the ride, someone who we brought onto their wing, who needed coverage, protection, guidance. But she probably didn't need any of that stuff. She was actually quite a big person and a big personality and toned it down significantly, which is impressive.
Yeah, 100%. And you imagine, just without even realizing, the target that she would have put on her back if she had come out as she is normally. There was already big personalities, but she would have been up there with a lot of you. And I don't think she gets as far if she doesn't play that role.
Yeah, and like we look at how quickly Annabelle was targeted, I would put her as like she'd be in that same category.
Absolutely. But we'll talk more about her potential early boot that almost happened in episode 1 through 6, where we talk about what would have happened with Yellow. But
yeah, I'm not going to lie. A lot of my notes for the pre-merge has Yellow pointlessly strategizing. Like that is every single episode.
There's nothing like strategizing where you don't need it to ruin your relationships, like I did with Brady. Now, if we are moving forward, let's get into it. It's going to be a long one. Which of you lovely ladies was given the great pleasure of episode 1?
We're just sharing. We're just going to chat and share along. So, Jules, kick us off, baby.
Okay, so episode 1, we get like the big opening intro packages. We see a little bit about everyone. We get that CK is a psychopath. That is the first thing we learn about you, and that is accurate.
I think the word I was looking for was sociopath, not psychopath, but regardless.
I've written psychopath, and I think that's
I said psychopath. I said psychopath, but the word I was looking for was sociopath.
Okay. Well, yes, you lied on the plane over. I liked that you came in being like, you know what? I'm not going to call myself. I'm not going to say that I'm a lawyer. I think too many people lie about their jobs. I think lawyer is one. It's probably a good thing to lie about, but you need to have a good cover story, and I think that's where you went well. Someone else did not go so well. But yeah, the musician story, that is something you do. So it's something you know a lot about. You can like sell that lie well. So I'll give you your first flower there.
I'm still wearing this is the same shirt.
Mm-hmm.
This is a rock and roll punk club from New York that was big in the 80s, CBG.
It's closed now, isn't it?
Yes, it's gone, sadly. But this is the shirt. It's the same shirt. Okay. I would like to compliment Liz on the start of this episode. The pre-intro is like, in terms of a classic season, so not a backyard redemption, or they're coming over the hill, all that sort of stuff, which was amazingly epic and is obviously the best intro. But in just a normal intro, as in here's some people walking in, here's the game, here's a couple of confessionals, the standard sort of approach. This is the best. Like it's so quick fire. You get a line from me, you get a line from Caitlin, you get an amazing line from Laurel, you get a line from Brady. It's boom, 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 one sentence, great little sound grab. You're learning a little about all these people really quickly, but you don't get everybody. I feel it's a really fantastic, fast-paced intro to the game.
100%. 100% agree with you. You get coverage of characters enough to get your teeth sunk in, but everything's moving. You don't feel stalled right at the beginning, which I feel like a lot of LRGs struggle with. So yeah, props Liz.
Yeah. And then at the beginning, we get everyone declaring who knows who.
Grady particularly likes the intro because he's first in it, I believe. He's the first.
He is. His first confessional. We have notes from when we did the podcast the first time. That document I had was 36 pages. I have condensed it right down to this one is 7. So just the long version of my notes did have that Brady had the first confessional. So I was aware of that. But yes, after the intro package, we're there, we're in our 2 tribes, and Liz tells everyone to declare who knows who. And I think that's just I really love this for the transparency. This is a smallish community, so it was impossible to have a group of 16 people who no one knew each other. Yes.
Behind the scenes commentary, I don't know if the plan was to tell people this, but I was standing there on the mat and I'd watched Warrandyte and I saw CM and Tara's secret little org alliance. And I didn't know about Jake and Nick's relationship, but I knew about the secret org alliance. And I said, Liz, are you going to tell us who knows who here? Because I want to know. So I don't know if she was planning on doing it, but I orced up immediately demanding release of this information.
Yep, okay. It was all because of you. Good
of course
job.
you did. Oh my goodness.
Just saying, I did it.
I like it though. Like you said, it is such a... I feel like as a player, it would feel weird in the moment, particularly if you do know people, because you may not want that information to be public. But from a viewer perspective, from a game fairness perspective, I think it's super interesting.
Yeah, and I think, I don't know how much it came into play, but I think around Annabelle's boot, it did definitely became a factor that her and Kate not only knew each other, but were good friends or are good friends. So, yeah, I think it's important to share that. And then what have I got?
On the relationship, I'm here for the behind the scenes fun. The reason why Kate and Annabelle were there was because they, Liz, JP, Vince, I'm not sure which, all of them, tried to recruit Annabelle based on her just Twitter commentary on Survivor at the time. And she refused to come unless she could bring a friend because, going up to the middle of nowhere with a bunch of weirdos like we are to play Survivor, you want some protection. And they said, and she said a friend would be a woman, and that was great because they were actually struggling for women. And Kate also is a different person, different player. It's not an Annabelle copy, which is great because you get 2 fantastic women, but who are different. And so that was the basis for that. I would say Laurel, who knew everyone, underplayed her only real relationship effectively. That was quite important. I believe that Laurel and Caitlin were closer than they sort of suggested based on that org they had played together, which I believe was a video org, which is a bit more than a text org. And so they were closer than perhaps they let on. I don't believe Laurel's other relationships, as highlighted, were anything significant.
No, I completely agree. Sorry,
where's my
screen?
Sorry. Okay, so can we get... Oh, I'm frozen, am I? Or am I good?
No, I'm good.
No,
I'm good. I was
frozen. Anyway,
you periodically freeze, but we can still hear you. So it's all good. You're not frozen.
Love that for me. So we get the reward challenge, which is fire making. Everyone's running around grabbing supplies to make fire, and Dale gets it going, and we see Dale's one and only strong challenge performance until the final immunity challenge. Dale gets the fire started for red. Brady forgot all the relationships 5 minutes in. The game moves so fast. I think it would only come up where it came up with Annabelle and Kate. It might be someone says something and you go, wait, didn't they say they were for, like, you don't think of it in the forefront of your mind, but if something comes up, it might bring it back and make you remember it.
I think if we're jumping ahead, Annabelle makes the mistake of saying something similar to being pleased that Kate found the idol that everyone saw her find. And then Caitlin sort of like really digs onto that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do we think about like
Yeah.
reward challenges from the get-go? Like winning Flint, I mean, it helps get everything moving, everybody working together.
It wasn't.
Like, what's the point of a challenge first up?
It wasn't just Flint. It was the better camp,
Fires.
apparently. Or I would say the yellow camp was better. But also, the red tribe who won were given their supplies to build a camp, more supplies, and given it to them. Whereas the yellow tribe had to hunt around the camp for their supplies, including the Flint, which was fantastic because it gave us a lot of opportunity to actually interact in small groups. The red tribe were not afforded the same opportunity.
Yeah, so I
was
really
really
liked
good.
that part. I was like, I think that I love that part. Of you all having to like search out for it and do all those sorts of things. So much fun can come from that, but it forces the game to start pretty quick because you can't just all stand around like playing Kumbaya, which is what generally happens when you're first back at camp and you're all kind of getting to know each other. You're like, right, we've got to find these things and get moving. It splits you up. It gets conversations happening. I like that.
Yeah, I like any excuse to like split everyone up. A few LRGs have done it well, and this, it was, I think it was actually an advantage for the yellow tribe to have to split up and look for stuff.
100%. As much as it doesn't come into play later,
for Brady.
they don't need to do it, but
For Brady, yeah.
Mm.
But we get, again, some orca with his fake puffer. He wants to go back and look for an idle clue, like pretends to lose your puffer. I have to say that's probably a stroke of genius. Well done with that.
I'm not even asthmatic. I just bought it. I'm not even asthmatic. It's my daughter's. Yeah, but I did use it. A bit of Ventolin in the morning can get you going, whether you're asthmatic or not. It's a good little boost.
100% gives you a kick.
Yeah, when it's cold, clear everything up.
Yeah.
But you thought you found an idle clue and you were so excited, and it was welcome to your camp.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. No.
There was actually a piece of paper that then got left on the hook, and then people were looking for that or found it in the creek. Everyone was very suspicious about this. It didn't make it to the edit, but it was very significant. But of course, Brady has found the idol. Brady was quite masterful about this. Later on, after he got voted out of the game, and I knew he had the idol, I asked when he found it and where he found it. And he said that he found it in the place where he grabs it from in the episode, where he grabs the Flint from, in that log that looks quite obvious, right? And I said, I saw you get the Flint out of there. Like, you just grabbed the Flint out of there. You didn't grab an idol at the time. And he's like, no, I did find it there. No one saw me. Got the idol, took the Flint off the idol, because they were supposed to be played together. We'll talk about that mechanic later. Then put the Flint in his hand, put it in the hole, and pulled out and said, I found the Flint. It was actually very, very well done by Brady.
It was very clever by him.
You don't get all that backstory of how he did it, which was very, very well done. It was very convincing.
Yeah. Very, very smart.
I think there's a brief mention of him saying that he pretended to find the idol, that he pretended to find the Flint in front of everyone. And then he got to have that moment of like, look, I found the Flint, look at me. Which,
he then tried to start a fire for about an hour and a half and couldn't. Somebody else started the fire.
Who started the fire?
I was about to say, if he says somebody else, he means him. Otherwise, he just names them.
It's like there's two things in the entire season that I'm disappointed is not in the coverage. One of them is me starting the fire, particularly because Mara is giving me smack because Chris knows everything. Chris knows where we should build the tent. Chris thinks he can build a fire. Well, I did build the freaking fire, Ma, and it's not on the damn videotape. But if you go to my preseason, it's not my preseason video, it's one of the trailers for the season. There's a shot where I'm on my knees next to the fire and it's raging and I've got my hands up in the air like this. That is when I lit it.
500 hours of trying to start fire footage.
But I would like
it's always a tense moment for anybody playing Survivor, LRG or not, being the one trying to make fire.
I literally did it in about 2 minutes.
Of course you
after
did.
Everyone else had been trying for an hour and a half.
All right.
Well done.
Very
proud of you. Very proud.
I would like.
Can we talk about someone that's not you, just for a minute?
Yes, I want to highlight Mars' confessional that I just referred to. This is the first of many confessionals that's focused on the big personality that is this person, and I just want to just drive that Orca energy home. That
Dani, can you
people
mute
were
him?
talking about me a lot
I can't.
in a negative way.
I can't. I don't have admin access. You took my
I wasn't
admin
finished
access.
talking about Brady, okay? Can we, Brady finds the idol attached to the flint. He also finds the clue to the rock idol, which we saw Tash had found on the other tribe. And Tash immediately knew exactly what it was. She knew that it was the rock holding the parchment at tribal. Brady mistakenly thought it was the rock that he found the note under, so he's going back trying to find that specific rock. That was a little bit cute watching him go back and be like, uh-oh, where is it?
I'll come to Brady's defense on this one. He shared that clue with me. He didn't share that he had the idol, but he shared the rock idol clue to sort of solidify the alliance we did have at the beginning of the game that later collapsed. And I read the clue as well, and it was poorly written on Brady's, and it was not the same text as what Tash had. So it was not nearly as clear that it was the tribal rock as it was for Tash. And then, look, maybe if I'd read it a couple of times, I would have started thinking about it. We'd never been to tribal, of course, but it literally disintegrated in Brady's pocket over the next hour, like a couple of hours, and so we couldn't read it again.
Yeah,
Okay,
right.
fair. All right, fair. Doesn't matter because Brady found the actual idol. That's all that matters. We come to the immunity challenge, and you've both had the chance to name your own tribe, and you both came up with the same name. How does that happen?
Can we just spin back?
I
want to spin back to the point where I tactfully and subtly made a 5-person alliance, but didn't make sure that everyone understood they were A, in the alliance, or B, who I wanted to be in the alliance. Like, I group up with Max and Annabelle, and I say I want Ma and Laurel, and then as I walked away, they were like, does he want Laurel or does he want to vote for Laurel? And Max is like, I don't know. And so then Laurel was never actually, I went to Laurel and say, this is the 5. And then when they were talking to Laurel, they're like, I don't really know about that. So it was a bit of a mess.
I do have that in my original notes. I don't have this in the condensed version, but I was not quite sure who was in the alliance and who wasn't, because Rosie's name was also in there as well.
Later on,
that was
the initial alliance.
It says CK, Annabelle, Max is the alliance. Annabelle wants Ma. The 5th is either Laurel or Rosie.
Yeah,
I'm sure who was the 5th.
This says I think they were the exact same words, but Brady interpreted them differently, and no one knew to correct him.
I'm not so sure about that, but that's it. I read it once.
Safety is what you seek on the parchment. You must pick. The rock that holds the parchment is an idol that is only valid before the merge.
It's pretty clear.
Well, not until you see that a rock was on top of the parchment.
I got it right away.
Well,
Tash got it right away.
No, she didn't. She gets it in the next episode once she's been to tribal. She's like, I think that rock was it.
All right.
Look, I'm not a big clue understander either, so I would have probably been like
a big clue understander.
I speak good English.
I think the issue you're having with the riddles is perhaps that being your capability with English language is not slotting in right.
Yeah. I can't speak well. I don't understand it in my brain. I don't know why I do a podcast. Clearly,
right.
Maybe if it was written in Italian.
If you run global in hundreds of hours, it's fine. Yeah, we know that you can speak good. Yes, we've gone to the challenge. And this challenge, by the way, can we just get some snaps for how good it was edited?
Yes.
Yeah,
So there's something that's missing. No, I'll give you the behind the scenes. You want to know about the red Flago, yellow Flago?
Right. Jules, I'm just gonna side with CK here. You're just gonna take it over. We knew this was what was gonna happen coming in. He was gonna talk about himself for 4 hours. Just buckle in, babe. We know.
Yeah, all right.
Buckle in.
Take a shot every time CK says something about himself. Might be a suicide.
Oh, you'd be wasted.
Yeah.
So the two tribes. We were quite frustrated that they had also called themselves Flago because we had the woman from Mexico on our tribe. And what right did those chumps have to the Spanish version of fire? We had the Spanish claim. Why did they choose Spanish? I have no idea why they chose Spanish. Like,
Maybe it was the only language that they knew the word fire in another language for. I don't know.
Surely Ashley has an awareness of some other languages. John, perhaps.
Oh, Liz says they had Marina.
I don't think that was her name. Marianne? Mariana.
No, Marina. Marina Santos.
I'm making a Dale joke. Where are you guys?
Not with you. Sorry.
Later on,
It was
Dale
a joke
went
about
for it,
someone
doesn't
that's not you. I couldn't follow.
Yeah.
Yes, but
Marina
going back to the challenge, it was very, very well edited.
I think
had a lot of fun watching Dale struggle on his obstacle because he was too tall. Lots of fun.
Yeah, Dale kind of fucked it.
There was
and then the puzzle was really, really flimsy as well.
Yeah, super flimsy.
I'm not erasing her. I'm making a joke about how the only person that was aligned with her didn't even know what her freaking name was, aka Dale, who was calling her Maria.
Who wrote it out, Marianne?
Yeah. Couple of fun facts about this challenge. Number one, it had a hidden idol in it that you could leave. So this was part of the theme they were trying to go for that then gets abandoned, but was a good idea that you could play with fire in the challenges, right? And so you could abandon your position in the challenge and go and get the idol. There were two sort of things that why this didn't happen and why then it got completely removed from the edit. It wasn't made clear, like it should have been if I was designing it, like show you where the idol is, right? So, because it was sort of said it's hidden, you're not going to run off into the middle of the challenge searching, right? It should be, it's here. And if you want to get it, then you can. But what wasn't clear was, do you then do your station or does someone else do your station? Or do you just not get those puzzle pieces? Like, and the problem is you couldn't ask those questions. Because as soon as you start going, so if I go for the idol, then what do I do? Like, no one went for it.
You go and get it, and then you still have to come back and do your thing, and that's the point. Like, you risk losing for your tribe because you've taken too long to go get the idol.
Yeah.
As Maddie P saying, it is very brains versus brawn season 1.
It was apparently hidden.
Morale, there was an idol.
It was apparently hidden, but I think if they'd shown us where it was, then that dynamic I think could have played in a bit better. And I would have potentially, because it wouldn't have taken you that long if you know where it is. Maybe if you grab it, you still got to do your station and 5-minute time penalty or something. I don't know. There had to be a
you just get the penalty of the extra time it takes. So it needs to be somewhere that's like kind of far away, or and maybe it needs to be like a little bit hidden, but not like it's like we're talking about Brains versus Brawn season 1. It's under this map, but there's rocks and stuff under there as well. So it's hard to find, but you know exactly where it is. So here's a big bucket full of things wrapped up. One of them is an idol. Yeah. Yes, Liz, the episode 2. Yeah, I remember that one.
Yeah, they have the same thing in the Ep 2 thing, and it's a bit clearer, but it would have worked better probably here. The other one is in the wobbly puzzle, as you identify. Again, CK, the guy who's trying to run the game as a player, pops out, much to the annoyance of everyone else that's there, cast and crew included. And I'm making a complaint to the organizers that the other tribe's puzzle is supported by 2 bricks holding it together and propping it up. And we had 1 brick and a flimsy log.
Who won the challenge? Remind me.
Well, once I complained, Liz says that 2 of us can hold the base, which Laurel and I then do, which is a significant advantage. And I may have even slipped my finger up the back a little bit to support it. And by may, I mean I did.
You were cheating.
See, Laurel doesn't remember the idol, but she remembers the log.
She says, I miss Low Budget Survivor, not going to lie. So, yeah, look. Yellow wins, and that's the end of the CK story of episode 1. We are focused just on Red Fragrant.
I celebrate in the most ridiculously over-the-top, orca aggressive manner, which is like literally the worst thing you could fucking do. I don't think my tribe appreciated it. The other tribe certainly didn't appreciate it. But man, I'm like, we're the best. Ludicrous.
Yeah, if I'm on the other tribe, I'm like, that motherfucker is going to be the first to go when I get my hands on him.
Yeah.
I'm like, that dude, gone, out.
Leather jacket boy over there needs to go.
Yeah, that faux rocker over there. Ugh.
Yeah, get him out. So we head back to the red camp. Marina actually is the first to see the idol on the ground, but she didn't have any pockets. She's there in leggings and a jumper that doesn't have pockets, and that is LRG 101. If you're going to go on one of these things, make sure what you are wearing has pockets.
She
And
has a
Uncharted
bra.
Waters,
Like as a
she has a
woman,
bra
wearing
too. Stick it in
in
your
your
bra.
bra.
Yeah, there's plenty of room in there. But you'll see my pants on Uncharted Waters, I had big ass pockets in there, and
Freeze.
Oh, now she's really frozen.
She had big ass pockets to put in potential idols she could find. It's smart.
Yeah,
My jacket was filled with pockets.
Yeah, that seemed like when both times I played, I had a big bulky black puffer jacket, lots of pockets, lots of lumps and bumps to cover.
So Marina sees the idol, but she doesn't want to pick it up. I don't think it's about the pockets. I think she's just trying to play.
So either.
No, I think she doesn't want to pick it up. She wants someone else to pick it up, and that to be like a connection with her best friend.
She wants the knowledge of who else has it.
And I'm just going to pull Jules out because it's not the best freeze for her. And she can pop back in when she's ready. So that's what occurs. And he gets the idol. And, of course, then Dale spirals completely that everybody has seen. Liz has said in reference to her season, Backyard Tweet, where do you put a dinner plate idol? I think you put it in Kyle's hands when you're about to get voted out, Liz. That's where you should put it.
Savage.
Sorry, I had to go there. The Dale spirals. He thinks that every single person on this tribe has seen him with the idol.
Panics.
And honestly, I think this spiraling saves him, potentially. I'm not saying that he was going, but, you know, this has been a controversial issue for so long and blah, blah, blah. But it was always going to be Scott or Dale. And we've talked about this before. Kate has a conversation with, I believe, Tash, that it's always the woman. It's always the Asian guy, the gay guy, the black guy, whatever.
Yeah.
We're not doing that on the first vote. But as we've talked about, if Scott or Dale had built relationships, then that very easy choice of vote would have become more difficult. Someone else would have said, no, I don't want to vote out Scott because they've got, you know, an alliance or a relationship going with him. They didn't have the relationships to support him. But once Dale had the idol and told everyone about it, Scott had zero chance. Like it could have been, 100%. Dale instead of Scott. Dale did fuck up the challenge, right?
Yes. Yeah, he when they go back to camp, he's hot on everyone's lips. As being the one that fucked up the challenge, he's going to cost us further in the game. Absolutely, Dale's like the first target, really, going back to camp. I agree with you. I think the fact that he again spirals and tells everybody because he's terrified. One, it puts him out of contention for everybody because I can't vote for him if he's got the idol on the off chance he does play it. And two, he's an open book. Like, this kid's going to tell me everything I need to know, so let me pick him up because I'm going to be able to read him and point him in whatever fucking direction I want to point him in. So for both those reasons, and then the fact that Scott doesn't make the relationships with anybody else, that's why it's Scott here.
Yeah, absolutely. And the thing is, I query, if Dale had found the idol and not felt everyone saw him find it, then he may not have spiraled in such a way, and therefore he may not have played it. You know, it's possible that, you know, if you think you've got a secret idol and you feel like you're safe, that you'd save it. You wouldn't play it on the first vote.
Oh, absolutely. No, in the first vote, if you think you're safe, more often than not, you're holding on to that.
So, look, there's the chance, though, that if those conversations start in earnest, by virtue of the idol moment, Dale now has a relationship with Marina, and she may have come to his defense in saying, I don't want to vote him out. And then it would have defaulted to Scott anyway. Yeah. Because no one was defending Scott, whereas Dale would have had a defender.
Yes, 100%. Yeah, I feel like I feel like that type of person Marina was too. I feel like she was like, I was there. We have this semi-relationship. Let me clue him in, because then that's also a kind of a feather in her cap too. To be like, well, if they idle out somebody like on a 6-2 vote, how cool for that for the two of them and bonds them together. And I've made this big move in the first tribal. It's a very cool thing to have under your cap first round.
So when you see, welcome back, Jules.
Sorry, my Wi-Fi died.
When you see Dale hand in the idol, and this is the important part, and this was the rules that were later not enforced. Apparently, the idol required you to provide both the idol and the flint that was attached. So showing you had the flint or using your tribe's flint required you to reveal that you had the idol. Now, that only strictly applied to yellow because red had 2 flints, the one they won in the challenge and the one that was attached to Dale's idol. So later on, technically, when Brady played his idol, according to how they were going to do the rules that they eventually let slip because they didn't feel it was clear enough, which I think is probably true, he would have needed the flint to actually effectively play his idol, which would have been hilarious because you know where the flint was? In my pocket on the jury. So if he got up to play the idol and Liz says, where's the flint? You need both parts. And he said, I don't know where it is. I would have pulled it out of my pocket and then put it right back in my pocket. And it would have been hilarious. Now, Brady, I've discussed this with Brady before, and he said that was not clear in the clue, which I don't think it was. And he said, if I knew that, if that was clear in the clue, there's no way anyone would have touched that flint but me.
Yeah.
And I think that's fair.
100%.
So,
Absolutely.
that wasn't going to happen, though it would have been a fun little moment on the jury. For me, not for Brady. It would have sucked for Brady, but it would have been good for me. Shall we move to episode 2?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. One little moment to finish off episode 1. Caitlin, an absolute all-star of this season, and who really has fantastic confessionals, does a confessional that she wants to vote out Scott. I'm talking about you now, Scott. I've been talking about you for a number of minutes.
Because he looks like a Chris.
Yeah. I want to vote out that guy because he looks like a Chris. It's an incredible compliment, Scott. But this is the effect that I was having on these other people. They're just voting people out because they're my archetype on their tribe, which he was.
100%. 100%. Absolutely. Yeah, the two of you on one tribe would have been insufferable.
Oh, absolutely.
Man, if we got together, it would have been a dream alliance.
Well, you have a very strong alliance to this day, so well done.
Yes, we have a real alliance, a friendship. So yes, thanks for being here, Scotty. I don't think you've been on the ORCA pod since you got interviewed, which was like one of the first ones ever. So good to have you back.
And it's one that footage is gone forever.
Yep, that's lost to the world.
Would CK survive the red tribe? Great question. No, I think I'm the first.
No.
Oh yeah, 100%. No, you're gone. That is not a tribe that's going to suffer you at all.
I think though that the Dale idol thing would have fucked me, but I would bet that I would have had a relationship with John. John would have been John has said pre-game that he planned to make an alliance with someone like me. He and I obviously get along very well in real life. We would have made a connection. He would have been coming to my defense, and I think it would have been Dale. But as soon as the idol spiral happened, then I would have been dead.
Probably.
Yeah, I concur.
Yeah.
Would Scott survive in CK's place? Well, is he as good at the challenges as me, Liz? I don't know. Nah, he probably is.
Well, never know.
Well, I mean, his tribe probably wins still a lot of challenges.
Yeah.
If he's there.
I think we're fairly interchangeable.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think he just makes
I think he probably makes merge.
Yeah.
What a different game that would have been.
I actually think that Scott would have a better relationship with Brady than I ended up having. I think they would get on better.
I agree.
So,
That's a very good take. I like that.
That's a good read.
So we go into episode 2 with some further spiraling. John is paranoid. He didn't see Dale find the idol, but Dale told everyone he did. He doesn't believe him, and it's just a whole saga. And I get it. Like, as someone who spiraled regularly about Shane in Sydney Survivor, when you get a thought in your head, regardless of what people tell you, you run with it. But we start an episode with John paranoid as shit. He just doesn't believe anything. He doesn't believe Tasha's idol clue. He doesn't believe anything. The panic is real.
Yeah, he doesn't believe Tasha's idol clue because she had told him what it was. We talked about this on the pod at the time. She didn't show him the note. I think if you're going to tell someone what a clue says, you might as well just, here you go, this is what it says. But she had basically said, yeah, it's the rock at Tribal Council. And he said, well, I saw Dale find it, and that was not the rock at Tribal Council, so I think she's full of shit. Not realizing that there's in fact 2 idols at the camp.
Yeah, and especially like first, like second round in, you're not thinking that there's going to be potentially 3 idols in play already.
It's a misplay from Tash. It doesn't hurt her. Brady showed me his clue. Let me read it. That's how you build the trust.
Yeah.
For what it's worth.
Yeah.
Then we go back to Yellow doing lots of unneeded strategy.
At this point, Annabelle does a confessional about how, she was worried that she might be the douchiest person there, but thankfully she's found a much more significant douche shield and meat shield in myself to align with. And I think that's got pretty high ORCA value that Annabelle was ranking me so highly on the douche meter.
Douche meter.
Look, I would. While I think you will get the ORCA, I think this is a season where you'll have the most competitors. I was like, any other season,
it's an ORCA
would,
season.
Far out ORCA anybody else, but this season you're going to have some serious competition.
I don't think anyone.
There's like four serious people for ORCA.
I think my complete failure to do anything strategically while thinking I'm good at strategy tips me over the edge. So into myself. Yeah. Laurel doesn't take herself seriously enough for it, honestly. She's just having too good of a time.
But yeah, you know who else has ORCA energy is Caitlin.
Yeah, she's too good at the game. She should have won. So no, Caitlin. Winners aren't ORCAs.
Okay. That was my argument for why Lauren should not be the ORCA, and you guys shot me down. So
I feel like this goes back and forth all the time, depending on who it is.
It's been good at the game. Loz played ORCA or not ORCA?
No, Loz made a boss bitch game. Caitlin's not a boss bitch in this game. She might be IRL, but in this game, she's more subtle than that.
I feel like whichever version of the argument you have, you are correct and I am wrong in your mind.
Exactly. I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm always correct.
That's exactly right. Yes, thank you.
That's exactly what it is.
Yeah. And we get to the shortest challenge ever. All of 12 seconds.
12 seconds
for Yellow to pull out that victory.
There's a moment here where we have to determine who's going to sit out. Laurel did not really want to sit out, and then they're like, "Who's sitting out?" And I'm like, "Laurel's sitting out," and she did not look pleased.
To be fair,
I wouldn't be pleased either if you dictated that I had to sit out of a challenge. I'd be like, "Get fucked."
To be fair, it was a purely strength-based challenge, and she was the smallest one.
And she was the fastest man on the tribe at the time. And if we had to do double sit-outs, we wanted to keep the fast person out. So it was a logical decision.
I understand the decision. I just would have been pissed in Laurel's place. I understand the issue.
Yeah.
I'm not saying I wasn't douching it up. I'm just highlighting these behaviors for my candidacy.
We get a little bit of back at Yellow after the challenge with the cult mentality starts. They're making a cult. We're having a cult. The girls are making a cult, sorry. The girls are making a cult. Ma is all about the propaganda. And kind of just pointless strategy. All that sort of thing. Here we go, 12 seconds. Annabelle takes credit for this challenge. Main character energy. That's what the notes say. We have
Scott says the highlight of the game was him seeing Red lose the challenge immediately. He may have been of some assistance in this challenge for them. I think we can be realistic about that. They made a lot of poor decisions. Well, no one was organising the cats over there. Like that, because you could solve the puzzle as well instead of winning the tug of war. Like let's say the tug of war was some significant stalemate. One of you could run and try and solve this puzzle, and that's how you win. And I think it might have been the strategy to have one of them run off immediately for that purpose.
Yeah, Marina immediately ran off.
Marina is the wrong choice. You know, she is one of the bigger women compared to the other women. Like Kate is quite slight. Caitlin's quite slight. Tash quite slight, right? So, you know, muscle and strength and general size is what's relevant for... Where's that noise?
Was that your phone?
Who's got that?
Can you hang on? Yeah. No, it's not. Is it me?
No, you're good now.
Okay.
Oh.
Is it you, Jules? I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, she's frozen.
So, you know, like that was a poor choice of person to go for the advantage for the puzzle.
100%. Yeah,
cool.
like even like just for like solidity for Marina to stand there and just hold tight. Absolutely.
Yeah.
And was she like more a puzzle person, like based on her head in the tribe, like, and the other girls were like, no, like I don't know if that was the case, but I agree with you.
You could have also run and got an idol for that, instead of going the puzzle. But I don't think you would have had to be Usain Bolt to get from the rope to the idol before the challenge was over.
Yeah.
That's how fast you would have. You had a 12-second 100-meter dash to get to the actual idol. I wonder if production would have let you have it if you went for it and the challenge finished before. I think they probably would have because it's more interesting.
100%. Yeah, make it a bit more.
That's where Marina should have run, right there.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Anyway, the quickest challenge is that the quickest challenge in LRG history? Surely.
I think so. Yeah. For sure.
We go back to Red Tribe. John, Tash, Caitlin, and Kate are all in an alliance, and the vote is kind of between Ash and Dale to start with. But then Dale's loyalty is kind of, well, here's Jules. Loyalty is questioned, and then they kind of, with a bunch of talking, and Dale then throws Marina under the bus, saying, well, she was there when I found it. Like, she was the one who told me where the idol was. And Marina hasn't told that part of the story. So they're kind of a little sus on Marina. So that's why the vote gets changed kind of last minute to Marina right before they go to tribal.
It's a very savvy move by Dale. I don't know. Do you think he knows he's being savvy here? Or is he just like coughing up the truth again to Tash, like for no reason? But it saves him.
I think he's just coughing up. I think it's just, again, like, it's just like, that's just his persona. He's just like telling the truth has helped me this far. What's the point in like not doing that now? May as well just keep building that trust with people.
And then we'll talk about Maddie P's question in a moment. But then obviously they go to tribal and Marina's voted out, though Dale thinks her name is Marianne. His closest ally probably in the whole game. Like, I don't think Dale has anyone who's loyal to him like Marina was. Who he absolutely torched. He gets asked to tribal council what was his dirty move. This was it. And he should have mentioned it. It saved his ass here. Like, this was his dirty move. Completely threw the only ally he ever had under the bus to save himself without even realizing it. I think which is the problem. Which is what I say.
That's exactly why I wouldn't have said it. He didn't realize that's what he'd done.
But he did. So the question from Maddie P, what would you have done if you'd known? Yeah, we knew about that idol. Okay, Jules is back with her other one, I think. Hang on. There we go, cool. We knew about that idol. I had no interest in going for it. But I guess the question is, we're at the swap. What would have happened at yellow? The ultimate question, the unresolved question. We can answer the question, but what would have happened if my swap yellow had gone. We're all pretty convinced on that. But what would it would have been the greatest fucking tribal council of all time. But what was, and we'll talk about that later, the hypothetical greatest of all time. What would have happened on the original swap yellow? So you had an alliance of me, Max, and Annabelle. You had an alliance of Laurel, Rosie, and Ma. You had Brady and Chloe sitting in the middle. I was also aligned with Chloe and Brady. Annabelle also had an extremely strong relationship with Rosie. Ultimately, Brady and Chloe were wanting to vote out Laurel, which I wasn't that keen on. I would have liked to have voted out Rosie, but the numbers were not there for that at all, and I would never have even suggested it because it would have been a suicidal thing to say. Ultimately, there would have been a push for me, but Annabelle would have never accepted it, and Brady wouldn't have been keen, as he said. He wanted to vote out Annabelle without me. Like if Laurel had come to Brady with a move, Brady would have been like, Annabelle would have been his target, which he might have been able to pull off, but Rosie wouldn't come in for it. So I think by virtue of all these relationships, we would be voting for Chloe, and maybe Brady plays the idol on her. If he does, then he would be idling out Annabelle. That is the most likely outcome.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, he would have done that. That would have been very cool.
But that's where all the dynamics
are. And no one was looking at Ma in that situation.
Ma was not a target at all. Neither was Max. No one was really looking at Rosie because I wouldn't have said that. Brady was potential, but Chloe was they were a pair, and Brady seemed more valuable for challenges and whatnot. He was quite handy on those sorts of things. So it would have been a thing. And so yeah, Laurel would have wanted me, but wouldn't be able to get the numbers. Brady would have wanted Annabelle, wouldn't be able to get the numbers. And so the 2 3s would have probably settled on Chloe. And I would have been the only one to push back against that because I had a thing going with Brady and Chloe, and I wouldn't have. I would have gone with it. Why was no one looking at Ma or Max? Why would anyone vote off Max? He's lovely. Everyone loves Max.
And the same thing with Ma. Like at that point in the game, they're both so lovely and just likable, and you want to work with them because they make you feel good.
This isn't La Madrina from Canberra. Ma was a lot more chill and subtle. The one thing is, no one really knew where they stood with her, but everyone wanted to work with her.
That's what I mean. Again, she's not like. Again, she learns from this. Yeah. But I'm just like, but she's still. When you meet Ma in person, you're like, oh, I want to get to know you a bit more. Like she's a personality where you're like, I want to keep you around. Let's see what this can do. So I understand not looking at her at that point.
She was holding back a little bit. Like she wasn't being the big spicy personality that she is.
100%.
She was holding back.
All right.
Yeah. I mean, I think ultimately you guys never losing is what cost all of the yellows the game. Like it is the
sure.
I don't think it was intentional, but it's the Matt Singh thing, like of constantly losing it. I mean, and Laurel flipping, it fucked you guys. I think if you guys had lost at least one challenge before the swap, one of the yellows is probably winning the game.
I don't think so. Dale going at our tribal council, I don't think changes much.
No, as in like if you had lost one, if they didn't lose twice, if you guys had lost once.
Yeah, so Dale not making the merge, I don't think changes much for us yellows. We still don't have the numbers.
No, I mean like before the swap though, like the OG yellow tribe. If that scenario happens, I think depending on how the swap works out, because I think there was an air of like, oh, well, red's just fucked no matter what happens. And I think that gave Laurel a bit more incentive to flip. And as Liz said,
with the
one. Like I was like, that's tribal council is where you build trust. It's where you figure out where you stand. It's where you build like all the shit you've been talking about, you put into practice. And then you move on to the next step. You can't move past conversations until you've actually put it to the test. Because at that point,
I agree 100%. If Brady, Max, Chloe, and I pulled off the hypothetical move I'll talk about later, we would have come into the merge way more united. I don't know if that really helps us because we're still down on the numbers, but we would have been way more united than we were because we would have actually pulled off a vote together, which we will talk about.
No, Liz, I'm not saying they should have thrown a challenge. Absolutely not. I don't think they could have predicted a swap that early. It was a very early swap after only 2 rounds. I think if they had if they hadn't swapped there, and if then they won the next challenge, maybe at challenge number 4, I would say that's when you consider throwing it. But if you never know, because you could throw a challenge and end up voting yourself out.
Yeah.
So
yeah. I would never throw a challenge. Look, I would have thrown I say this. I would never throw a challenge because you don't know what's going to. No matter how safe you feel, you never know what's going to happen in Tribal Council. There's advantages. People want to make moves, etc. However, if say Laurel's flip had seen Ma or Rosie get voted out first, I would have thrown a challenge for Annabelle.
Mm-hmm.
But once Annabelle was gone, I'm not throwing a challenge for Ma. I'm not throwing a challenge for Ma or Rosie. I wasn't in line with them. Like, who gives a shit? Like, I just want to win at that point. But for Annabelle, I would have thrown. So obviously Laurel was never doing that because she was number 3 in that pecking order for Laurel. But if they'd gone that way, that would have been a throw. But I don't think all of us voting 7-6-2 on Chloe would have really united the yellows in such a way that Laurel doesn't flip later or whatever. I don't think it really would have made.
No, but I think part of Laurel flipping is that she was flipping to people that really needed her. Like, I think long term, she knew that these people weren't just going to ditch her as soon as she flipped because they were already down in numbers. They needed to keep her around. That's where the difference lies. If the Reds had equal numbers to yellows going into that swap, Laurel flips and then she's suddenly on the bottom of an equal-sized tribe or equal-sized alliance. But she's flipping to the bottom of an alliance, but it's the bottom of a smaller alliance.
I wanted to work with Laurel. I always did the whole game. But
let's get into the swap and Jules's favorite topic, the schoolyard pick.
Oh, look, I don't have an issue with the schoolyard pick, but this particular tribe swap, I said it at the time and I stand by it, the most unfair tribe swap in the history of Survivor.
Can I be clear? I was 100% certain this was a tribe swap and a fake out. Look, Liz, I love you, but you're not the best at explaining the challenges at the best of times. But when Liz has to explain the challenge that doesn't actually exist, like what she says makes literal no sense, and they give us no explanation. One tribe's going to do the challenge, and the other tribe won't see it. And the other tribe's going to come back, and they're going to do the challenge. But they won't see what the other tribe have done or whether they've won or lost. It was like, what the hell is going? Like, it was so nonsensical that I'm like, I'm pretty sure this is a swap. And so when they said put up 2 people, Max was going to go up, and I said, don't go up, which he should have, because then he could have been a captain. He would have been the captain with Laurel. But I was concerned that it was taking the 2 people we put up and just moving them onto the other tribe. That was my concern. Or
that would have been my thought too at that moment. I just think, like, generally when you put 2 people up at, like, very OG Survivor-esque, they just go to a summit or something and then they end up swapping to the other tribe.
Yeah, I thought they would go, either they could both go over or Red would have to put 2 up and those 2, it would just be a swap. So that's why I didn't let Max go. But if Max had gone, we played through this, then our tribe ends up being the same tribe we have, except it's Annabelle instead of Chloe. And I'm in a much better position at the merge. So that was a mistake.
But I think having the 2 captains come from the same tribe is that's where it makes it unfair. I think to have the same, like, challenge, fake out, have all that, and just be like, all right, you got to each put up 1 person from each tribe, and those are your captains. And then you make it so that they have to pick someone from the opposite tribe.
OP. I finally got there. It's OP.
I was like, what are you doing? Are you like...
It's OP.
Are you trying to
I thought you were making fun of my hands. I was like, oh my God.
It's overpowered. It's overpowered, is what I was going.
Yeah, I said that.
Yeah. Way overpowered.
Very overpowered. It's, ridiculous. So then we get into the new tribes. We've got new yellow, Chloe, Brady, CK, Max, Dale, Kate, and Tash. And new red, Laurel, Ma, Annabelle, Rosie, John, Ash, and Caitlin.
And Annabelle is not happy about being the last yellow picked.
We're going to have words, I believe she says. You'll hear about this in my confessional. I have to say that I don't know if I've ever really spoken to Laurel about this, but just thinking today, I don't know the basis on which Laurel chose John over Tash. Tash is better at the challenges. Like that's
I
obvious.
think I commented on that at the time, and I was like, well, how was Tash the last one picked?
Why would
Like, that
Laurel
is
pick
insane.
Ashley over Tash and Oh no, that it was. He chose Ashley and John over Tash. It was she had a choice of 3 and was picking 2, and left Tash out of that choice. Strange choice for Laurel. If you're still here, Laurel, I'd love to know why that was your call.
Yeah, I'd love to hear the whole thought process behind all of them.
Well, no, every other decision is perfectly logical. That's the only illogical decision for me. Laurel,
but then you look at Chloe doing the picks, and she's turning around to you, and you're like whispering in her ear, "Pick this person, pick this person."
Yeah, I'm telling her to pick. It's quite funny. I'm like, we come around to the next picks, and I'm like, she take Max and Annabelle, and she's like, I'm not fucking taking Annabelle. I'm taking Brady. I'm like, yeah, it's worth a shot. Like, it's worth a shot.
Yeah,
she's like, no, what, Brady?
I'm picking my ally.
And then I'm like,
but also, it should have been that the person who gets picked then has to pick the next person.
Yeah.
So I think that's how you make it fair. You make it so that it's 1 red and 1 yellow as the captains. They have to pick someone not from their tribe, and then the person that gets picked has to then pick the next person. That's how you make it a little bit more fair.
I think this swap was a JP master creation, of course, the founder of the Double Earn Tribal. And, JP likes to come up with fun little strategies, and sometimes they don't they're different and they're interesting, but sometimes they don't pan out. And maybe this is one of them.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I think that's right. Or is Vince? It might have been Vince's idea. Liz, tell me whose idea it was. I'm pretty sure it wasn't Liz's idea.
No, that doesn't sound like a Liz idea.
All right, talk us through going back to the new Yellow Fuego, because everyone's feeling each other out at this point.
I'm putting a lot of work into Kate. I like Kate. I think she's an amazing woman. And I want to link up with her and Annabelle later. So I immediately tell her that I'm super tight with Annabelle. And until I obtain the infamous Dragon Ball Z orange Fat Man jacket, as Laurel describes it later, I'm not sure if Kate really believes that I am super tight with Annabelle. Later on, when she just gives me the jacket, I think it solidifies the stories I've been telling. And then, sorry, Brady wants to make a comment. As much as I got the rock wrong, I credit with much of my night 1 gameplay. So many relationships built off discussing it. I even stood next to CK and threw it away into the abyss to build trust. What he means is he found a rock near where he thought he found the note. And he's like, this is the rock. And I'm like, I don't think that's the rock, dude. And he's like, no, it is, because it's the only thing I could find there. I'm like, it's just a rock. Like, it's just a fucking rock. It didn't have any paint on it. I'm like, how will they know if that's the rock or if it's some other rock? They can't possibly know that. And then he eventually was like, you're right. And he threw it away. I'm like, what if that was the rock? He's like, I don't think it was. I'm like, what if it was? Maddie P was obviously not here for the start. Yes, that was announced at the beginning of the game. People were required to reveal their pre-game relationships. So, I was putting a lot of work into Kate. And look, we might as well talk about the little plan here. What would have happened if and then we can just talk about the rest of the people for the rest of it. What would have happened if my tribe, the Swap Yellows, had gone to a tribal in these upcoming 3 rounds? This is the infamous, amazing tribal council that never happened. Brady, myself, Max, and Chloe had a very strong plan to gaslight Tash and bring in Dale. We're putting work into Dale. Dale's our new bestie. I'm broing down with Dale. Brady's broing down with Dale. And we're shutting Tash the fuck out, barely even talking to her. She is aggravated by this. You can see confessionals where she's talking about this. Is this happening to you, Kate? She's like, no, they don't really like me. And CK is talking to me heaps. And he's just a bit of a douchey guy, but whatever. He's putting the time into me. These are the conversations that are happening. Now, if we'd gone to a tribal, we would have gone with Kate having a public idol, which pretty much solidified her, and Tash having a secret idol, being the rock idol that we didn't know where it was. If we go to that tribal council, the plan was for the 4 of us, the OG Yellows, to vote for Dale in case of these advantages. So we gaslighted Tash and sucked Dale in with the deliberate intent of thinking there's no way, if they're going to play idle games between Kate and Tash, good for them, but we're not voting for either of them. We're voting for Dale. And this was very, very effective. Nobody knew we were doing this. Dale thought, and by the time we got to merge, we're like, well, let's try and work with Dale because we just put all this time trying to like suck him in. So he felt like that's why he's got this decision between the two groups. But we weren't ever legitimate. We've discussed this a lot. Brady has retained that no matter what was going on with he and I, he would have stuck with that plan. It was a great plan. I think Chloe could have ummed and ahed about it. She has confessionals about potentially wanting to work with the girls. But I think if Brady was solid with that plan, then Chloe would have gone along with it as well. So it could have been an amazing tribal council where Kate plays an idol, Tash plays an idol. They're probably realistically all voting for me. And then suddenly they think they've got it. You know, they've blown two idols and it comes out Dale. It would have been pretty amazing.
It would have been a pretty great blindside. I would have enjoyed that.
We set it up through.
We would have talked at length about it, how it was the best move anyone could have ever done. Oh,
yeah,
but it didn't happen.
Honestly, it would have been insufferable if I had pulled off that move with Max,
Absolutely.
Chloe, and Brady. But insufferable.
You would have had taken all the credit for it.
No, it's a team effort. I would just be the captain.
Mm-hmm.
Not one of those captains that's all, humble and says like, oh, it's a team effort. All the guys said, no, I'm the captain. I led us to victory. I'm that captain.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And then back on Red, we just have Annabelle very unhappy. Upset about going to tribal. She wanted to vote with her original tribe. She wants all the options open. She's just an unhappy chappy. Bless.
Mm-hmm. Didn't appreciate this.
No.
Did we talk about the challenge already or no?
No. Challenge
this challenge is another finely edited challenge, even though if in the real time the two of you felt it was too long. I believe your commentary was too long.
Yes, it was, because the week before we had 12 seconds. This one we had about half the episode was on the challenge. I don't get it.
So there was no way Red were winning this. Like, this is what we were told. We get in and Kate, Tash, Dale, they're like, we're going to win this. Ashley cannot balance. I don't know why he wasn't on the throwing, but they said Ashley has said that he cannot balance at all.
We saw
and that became apparently true. So they really should have put Ashley on the throwing if that was such a weakness for him. I think Ma would have been fine at the balancing. But once they made that decision, they had no chance, no matter how long it took me and Brady and Dale and Max.
Yeah, I think a lot of people struggled with this. It was only really, I don't have it in my notes, but whoever went first.
Kate and Chloe. They just zoom over it. It's Kate and Chloe.
They crushed it.
Tash also crushes it at the throwing.
Oh, yeah. Tash is I think this is where I fell in love with Tash. I was like, this girl is a beast.
Isn't she a netballer?
Yes.
Yeah,
I'm going to stop the throwing. It's also
a receptionist. We're ticking all the boxes here.
Yeah, you guys.
It's not just the throwing. It's also the one-hand catches from Max. So Max isn't really like he's not lobbing it. He's actually throwing it to her, and she's like one hand catching it and like throwing again. Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Well done,
Tash. Anyway, they go back. They go back to Red, and they will vote Ashley. I don't think there's much to talk about that. Ashley was a lovely person.
The only thing to really talk about is the fact that Ashley, I think he gave them permission, as in John and Caitlin, to vote for him.
He's a sweet guy. Yeah. He's a sweet guy. Did you guys notice his exit interview or the exit confessional? Like, what's it called?
2 years later.
Yeah, 2 years later, because they'd lost the footage. So he's just sitting in some random park wearing a red shirt doing the exit bit.
Yeah.
Oh, and Kate, was it Kate that found the idol in the bucket during that challenge?
That's not
No, that's the next challenge.
Am I ahead of myself?
Next challenge. You are ahead.
It's actually two challenges away.
The document that you're looking at has some bits missing and can join together. So just FYI. We go to episode 4, and I've got here yellow, even more useless strategizing. But we see Brady tell Chloe about the idol, and Tash tells Kate about her clue. So that's relevant to the overall story, but all the other stuff of this is we're going to vote here, we're going to vote here, doesn't matter. Could not care less. Sorry. No, and then Red is meanwhile manifesting.
Can I say, but from an editing perspective, you need all of this in there for two reasons.
Oh,
right?
absolutely. Episode by episode, you need all that in there because at the time we didn't know that you weren't going to go to a tribal.
Yeah.
But when we're covering the entire season as a whole, we know that you're not going to go to a tribal. We don't need to talk about it here because it's all irrelevant.
The only way it's relevant is in the story I've told about the hypothetical tribal council, which now it's all covered.
We heard that story. Done.
Yeah.
Redman is manifesting a challenge that they think the other tribe is not going to be good at, and they're saying, well, they're mostly guys. What are they bad at? And Annabelle starts expressing their feelings, and that is one of my favorite quotes of the many good ones from Annabelle. That is up there as one of my favorite. But the challenge is actually running out to count items in buckets, and then you have to come back to unlock a lock and do a slide puzzle. This is where we get the Isla's just sitting there in a bucket. Rosie spots it, doesn't take it. Kate spots it, stands there for probably about 10 minutes going, oh, what do I do? And then just grabs it, and everyone sees her do it, but who cares? Like every single person. It was a big thing, and it's hard to be subtle to grab that out because you weren't grabbing things from the buckets. You were just counting. So for her to reach down and grab something out, it's very hard to do that subtly.
I don't know. I think we talked enough about the manifestation of the slide puzzle. It's a very fun moment.
John was manifesting a slide puzzle.
Yeah,
and
the manifestation.
They got their manifestation circle, and they said, "What would you like to see in the challenge that would enable us to get this victory?" And John says, "A slide puzzle. I am elite at slide puzzles. I'm not Tara elite, but I'm elite." He doesn't say that, but like I don't think anyone's Tara elite or thinks they're Tara elite. But I am very good at slide puzzles. And they see the slide puzzle. And I'd like to say on the yellow tribe, nobody wanted to do the slide puzzle. Like Max didn't say I can do them. It was like literally everyone said
and
I can't.
It's you either can do them or you can't. Like you either know what the strategy is or you don't.
So Max put up his hand purely out of a lack of anyone else. So,
but John has said that he didn't know what the finished product was meant to look like. He had it like he had the bottom line and the top line around the wrong way.
Sure. But I would contend that understanding the image you're forming is a critical part to the slide puzzle strategy.
Like I'm
any puzzle, understanding what picture you're trying to put together. I'm not a puzzle person, but I understand I would need to know what the picture is to make it make sense.
Yeah.
Maybe. I think you'll find on the example of live slide puzzles done on Survivor LRGs that we have all witnessed, Max is the slide puzzle king.
Tara is the slide puzzle king.
She's the queen.
She's the king, queen, and all of the other royalty.
She is all royalty.
She's the emperor. She's the empress.
Yes.
Empress.
No, is there a royal figure that knows no gender? She is just the top of every single person.
I don't know if things are royal when there's no gender. It's all gendered.
Yeah.
I just got a little note here that I managed to over-celebrate on this victory coming off the bench.
Yes, you did. You came running over. And you basically tried to crowd dive them.
Yeah. But that's some ORCA behavior right there, right? Like over-celebrating from the bench.
Yeah.
It's because I didn't think we could win the slide puzzle. And so when Max beat John, I was pretty shocked. And then you actually see me celebrating, and then turning and looking back at the slide puzzle, like, what has just happened? And then at some point, I don't know when I say this, but I don't know what was going through my head in this game. I came to play a villain, and I don't know what was flowing through my veins, but the villainous nature was just coming out. I literally say to John at some point, how did it feel to be beaten by my tradie mate at the puzzle? What a bitch move. Why would I say that to him?
I don't know why I would say that to him.
What?
I'm agreeing with you.
Yeah. He would never work with me if I say shit like that. What the fuck was I thinking? I don't know what was going through my head. And I thought I was playing a good game. I was the Lulu.
So this is also really super interesting, again, some behind the scenes stuff. Super interesting for me because I obviously had met you prior to seeing you play. So met you as a person, got to know you, we'd become friends, so know who you are. And then watching you play this, I was like, I hate this guy.
Who the fuck is this guy?
I was like, I actively hate this person.
Oh my God,
I'm
Dani,
just-
if you had been on this season, if the two of you were on this season on a tribe together, having never met before, you would be arch rivals. You would
100%.
probably still be like good friends now, but you would have hated each other.
Hated each other. Yeah.
Like,
I wanna
Dani,
be
your
clear.
sole mission in the game would be to vote CK out.
Just to be a little bit
Would have been
clear, and I don't
blinders.
want to be de-orkering my campaign, but like all of this shit was happening and it was nuts. And in the game form, this is what I was doing. But in the social interactions, I was being more genuinely myself. Like, I understand that Laurel was over there on the red tribe, and Caitlin and John are like, fucking hate that Chris, he's such a douchebag. And Laurel was like, he's actually pretty cool. He's a nice guy. And they're like, I don't fucking want to hear it. He sucks. Like, so the real me was also there, but like none of that makes the footage, and it's all just the douche stuff that I was doing, like the full douche.
And for me, in that such a quick moment, the douche outweighs the goodness. I would have just been like,
Boring. Who was
All
that
right,
crap? Yeah. Everyone's agreeing. I'm lovely in real life, but the character that I brought to Melbourne Survivor was the douche apocalypse, and it was amazing. The character I played here was top tier douchebag.
100%. 100%.
All right, but then we
I
go
promised-
to
I promised.
the red tribe.
I promised him a villain. I promised JP,
you delivered.
Vince, and
You
Liz a
delivered.
villain, and they got one.
Yes, they did. But we go to the red tribe and we get the first big flip of the season. And I think, as we mentioned earlier, it comes from Kate finding that idol and Annabelle being very happy about it. And I was like,
Yes,
great,
yeah.
Kate's got an idol. Kate's our ally. And I think Annabelle's strategy had been to align herself with John and Caitlin because she knew they wanted to work with Kate and be like, yeah, I'll work with you guys and Kate, hoping that they would, if anything would have happened, if an idol were to get played, she would be safe. We had the opposite effect of, and this is what I think Laurel was feeding them, like, you think that Kate is with you. Kate is going to be with Annabelle. That's going to be her ally. Those two are going to be inseparable. If you want to work with Kate, you need to take Annabelle out now.
Yeah, and Annabelle's with Chris. He's with Max. That's going to be the group. Like, do you want that Chris guy going far? No. Like, but yeah, like there was. This was a mix of quality play made across the board by a number of people, and I'll go to it now. I said there's two things I'm really sad that aren't in this edit for myself. One was the lighting the fire, and this is a confessional I give after Annabelle's voted out, and I can see that she's not there anymore. And I feel like if this confessional was in, it'd be a slam dunk, because in this one confessional, I am loud and proud, I am narcissistic, and I am commenting on strong arm tactics. And I literally see that Annabelle has been voted out of the game. And my commentary is like, oh man, that really sucks, that she got voted out because she was tied to me. Like, it, that's the only reason that she's out of the game. They're trying to weaken me. It had nothing to do, of course, with Laurel wanting to play wild or Caitlin's social skills or that Annabelle herself is a huge target that needs to be removed. None of those things. It was purely to weaken my incredible grip on the game that I already had.
That's absolutely it.
Obviously, those additional elements weren't there, but I just literally say that's why she's out of the game, because of me. And that is, I think, the most awkward thing I possibly could have said in the whole game. That she got voted out.
Release the tapes.
Yeah, I need to see this footage.
You imagine, I don't think it's implausible that I said this. I think this is
No, I buy it.
No, I completely. I just want to see it. I want to see it. I believe you. I just want to see it.
Yeah. I remember where I was in the camp distinctly. I remember Tara filming it. Like, I remember it like it was yesterday. And I just think, man, was I so into myself.
But yes, we do get the Annabelle vote. We actually have a tied vote at first, and Annabelle's face is it rivals the Maddie P face.
He said he was the captain of the I Hate CK Alliance. Well, maybe that's because, as I said earlier, when maybe you weren't here, I said, how did you feel that my douchey tradie alliance member beat you in the slide puzzle? Which is a bit of a douchey thing to say. He says the footage doesn't exist. John has never heard of anyone ever accused CK of having main characters.
Never.
So Bit of sarcasm.
Never.
I wouldn't.
Tide vote.
But yes, we get the Annabelle doing Maddie P face of like, or not, but the hands weren't up, but it was very much like, oh my God. And then, yeah, on the revote, Ma changes her vote as well. And we see Annabelle go out in episode 4, and that was not on my bingo card.
This is and remains an incredible move from Laurel. Yes, it's Caitlin's social push to make it happen. And I think their pre-existing relationship was a factor. But Laurel's move here is so incredible. And partly she says it's because she's bored, which I believe. But it's also wanting to cause a bit of chaos. But to decide you're going to flip on your group is one thing. And to try and get the numbers. But Ma flat out says in the end, I'm not doing this. I don't really care about Annabelle, but I don't want to upset Rosie and leave her out of it. And we know Rosie won't vote for Annabelle. That's Ma's reasoning. So Laurel knows that Ma's sort of okay with it, but not really. And with that information, Laurel says, fuck it. I'll just push Ma to do this in a revote. Like, you know, that's
it's like either you do it or you go to rocks.
That's such a tubesy play from her that's so aggressive. And I really, really love it to be like, you don't want to come with me because you don't want to piss off Rosie? Fuck it. I'll just force you to do it anyway. And then you can you placate to Rosie about how you don't want to go to rocks later. But she doesn't talk to Ma about that. She just rolls into the tribal council and does it. And it's so tubey. I love it. Feel like tubey? I don't want to say ballsy.
Tubey?
I don't want to say ballsy.
Oh, okay. I had no idea where you were going with that.
What, eggsy? Is eggsy better?
I would still say ballsy. Like I'll say that I've got big balls, so it's fine.
Yeah, I just particularly don't want to say it in the context of L'Oreal. I feel that's too insensitive.
Fair. I don't know. Women can still have big dick energy.
Just say ballsy. There you go.
I have permission now. You were incredibly ballsy, L'Oreal. Amazing work. I love you too.
And then we go. Episode 5 starts with like explaining to Rosie why Ma did it, and Ma sort of saying, "Oh, I kind of was okay with it." Ma starts the episode being like, "Yeah, I was okay with it. I was thinking about doing it and didn't." And then by the end of the episode, she's like, "Well, Laurel has fucked me here by doing that." So it's very completely different reactions in the situation of they lose the next challenge. But they rock up to the challenge, and you guys are just like, "What happened?"
I know you want to talk about Yellow, but can we just talk about Yellow? We get a great one of Dale's best confessionals, because Dale doesn't generally say anything that's like offensive in any possible way about anyone like this. And I think that's also Dale in real life still. He's a very, very nice guy, right? He doesn't say nasty things about people. But this is about as nasty as Dale gets, where he's like, Chris is ordering around. He thinks he's the boss, but he's the boss. Like, even Dale's getting in on the Chris bashing in the confessionals. I just wanted to make that known. That nice guy Dale's getting in on the action.
I enjoyed Chloe's confessional more here. It's like jumping off the rock and like her personality really comes out.
Let me tell you something.
Yeah, I have a story for you. It's great.
Yeah.
And it's just telling us that Kate got the idol, but it was so good.
Yeah, it's like everyone knows. Everyone knows. So
it was just fun.
I would like to say this next challenge, which I didn't edit, it was edited by Laurel, I believe, is also excellently done, considering Laurel had to do it with half of the footage.
Half the footage. Yeah, there was no Red Tribe footage. I was impressed that everyone just hacked the challenge.
Yeah, we immediately thought about that, and we went and asked Keegan, and he's like, yeah, sure, because we're behind on time, and this will make it quicker.
Yeah, fair. The spirit of the challenge was that you had to move your crates one at a time and step on, and you'd all just went, nah, crate shoes. And then it made for a good spot when you got the beanbag. You just dropped it into the crate and just kept walking.
Yeah. Hacked. Well done.
Yeah.
Well done there.
Yellow wins again.
Yeah, I like that. That's one behind the scenes thing that I am happy to know about, that they were happy to do it because they were behind on time. Because I feel like if I'd created that challenge, I would have been like, oh, didn't see this coming. When they're like, no, you can do it, it's fine. Yeah, good job.
Yeah, it's super.
And then
I don't know
throwing
if
the beanbag.
I don't know if the Reds had. Yeah, I don't know if the Reds had the same idea, or they just saw us doing it and started doing it immediately as well. But that's what happened.
I would copy you.
And then I walk back into camp like an emperor who's conquered half of Europe, my hands outstretched like this. That's all me. Had nothing to do with Dale, who was actually throwing the things under the box. I chose Dale to be in that position, and that's why we won.
Oh, of course. You put him there. All hail King CK.
I also put Tash in the throwing position in that other throwing one as well, just FYI.
Ever think about putting yourself in the throwing thing?
I suck at throwing. Why would I do that? Then we'd lose. I know my weaknesses. Throwing shit is one of them.
Love yourself for working.
I always strategically put myself in a position where I couldn't fuck up the challenge. Like it was just a simple.
Yeah, that you don't want to put yourself in the hero role. I get that.
Yeah,
100%.
That's why I went through that stupid hoop like that in the first challenge. I went through that just where you fell backwards through the tire. Whatever, I can't fuck that up.
Yeah.
And you're never amazing at anything. You're like, oh, I'm okay at doing this. So people.
I'm very good at puzzles, but I wasn't willing to volunteer that. I would have volunteered myself for the slide puzzle if I was good at slides, but I'm not, so I didn't bother.
Fair.
Going back to that Tash one, I wasn't going to tell the story, but if we're on this, we had a great story where we were doing that. No, it was a great one where Tash really like balls out. It was great because not because it's just throwing the balls. We had to work out who was doing what. And what we realized was for balance, best was height pairs. So we would have thought to put Dale on the throwing because obviously he's very, very capable of those sorts of things with his tennis background. But we needed a height match for Max. So then we worked out the pairs we had, which left Tash throwing the ball. And I said to Tash, well, this leaves you throwing. Can you throw? And Tash is like, oh, yeah, I guess. And I'm like, can you throw? And she's like, yes, I can do it. I'm like, then go fucking do it. And she was all like umming and ahhing when she's obviously elite. Like, just say you can do it the first time.
Yeah, she's not an ORCA.
Yeah, but she could. She was awesome at it. What am I good at, CK? Talking, podcasts, and puzzles. Pretty good at orgs, too. Being
the douchiest of the douchebags.
When I'm playing the douchey character, yes. The douchey character, CK.
All right, we go back to Red, and it's a very emotional vote, this one. There was lots of tears and sad music, and Mara has gone from, this was great to get rid of Annabelle, to, fuck. It's either going to be me or Rosie. She doesn't know which one it's going to be, and she's not throwing Rosie under the bus, but she's throwing Rosie under the bus of like, this is why you should keep me, guys.
I think what Mara's saying here is absolutely relevant. It's purely what Laurel wants to do. Yeah,
absolutely. And we get a confession from Laurel talking about like, well, I think Mara is more of a headstrong player. That's ultimately the reason of why I think she decides to keep Mara over Rosie, even though I think Laurel had a better personal connection with Rosie than she did with Mara. It was still very sad to have to do.
And just the emotional music of all this is just making everybody tear up.
It's always the music. I wouldn't ever cry in movies if there wasn't music behind it.
Yeah, the music gets you for sure. This is the better choice for Laurel from a game point of view. I know that I'm not saying that she needed my coaching to inspire her. She just needed it to light that spark, that little spark that turned into fire. I was literally playing with fire, creating it. Anyway, the Laurel also thought about like just flipping and voting for John, but then was in sort of what was the point of flipping on Annabelle then? Like, Laurel's like, I hadn't. It's just like.
I don't agree with that. Like, I think if you see Annabelle as a player that you want to get out, you flip on her, you vote her out, and then you can still go back to your original people.
Yeah, that actually makes a lot of sense. Like, why was John not on the table here?
Yeah.
Not Caitlin, but why? Because obviously Laurel had a very strong relationship with Caitlin, but why?
I'm guessing because Caitlin said no.
But he doesn't need Caitlin's vote. She doesn't need Caitlin's
I know, but she wants to work with Caitlin, so you don't want to piss her off.
Who played with fire and got the most badly burned?
Laurel probably played with the most fire.
I think it's Ma. Ma gets burned the worst.
But she didn't really do much playing with fire.
If she'd gone to rocks, she might have been in a better position.
Yeah, that's fair.
I'm not saying she should have. That's like she should have played with fire by going to rocks, and then she would have been in a better position. But I'm not saying most people would go to rocks in her situation. It would be crazy.
No.
I would like to put something out there. I know everyone says Laurel is a hot contender for the ORCA, and she absolutely she is. And her confessionals are absolutely lit. However, this one episode needs to be discounted a bit against Laurel because she is soppy and emotional and really fucking nice to everybody. Even though in the rest of the season, she's just bitching out at everyone, she is so nice to everyone, and there's tears, and oh my God, I can't believe we have to vote each other out, and whatever. There's nothing ORCA about Laurel's behavior in this particular episode. That's where you see Laurel's
in true ORCA style, not only are you pumping up your own ORCA-ness, you're dimming down someone else's.
Got to do both. Got to both ends.
All right, let's
Moving
move on to episode 6 because we are not even at merge yet, and we're an hour and a half into this, so this is going to be the longest pod we've ever done.
3 hours. That's what I was expecting. All right, we're tracking.
Episode 6 starts with even more useless yellow strategy in my notes. I don't know what you guys were talking about. I don't really care. It's the same scenario that you've already talked about. Would have been the greatest travel of all time. We move on.
I get a nasty confession. Tash does a nasty confession about me. Thank you. I'm just ticking them off the list.
Okay, good. The challenge is the blocks with their all different coloured sides, and there's a thing that says that it was 55-minute duration, and I believe at the time you guys were saying no, that was a bit of a fib.
It was about half an hour. That was a lie. There was also more to it that you didn't see in the edit. It actually started off with three people on the blocks who were all blindfolded, and one person who was not blindfolded but couldn't touch the blocks, which was myself and I think Laurel, maybe Ma. And we had to direct them with what to do with the blocks. And I reckon we did that for about 5 minutes. And like you literally, with the lights and the fluoro paint they chose to paint the things, you couldn't even really see the colors. And then they said,
used the handheld lights on the fluoro paint.
Yeah, they said one person can take the blindfold off. Okay, everyone can take the blindfold off. Actually, the callers can go down and help. So that's how they sort of start the challenge. But, it's probably about 40 minutes, I reckon, with that included.
This whole footage just feels chaotic. Like this whole footage just feels chaotic, messy. Like
it's
you like
pouring rain. It's dark.
Like you're really feeling it in the moment. It's just like that. It would have been horrible.
Mm-hmm.
It was so wet. And Laurel, who is tough as nails, is there in shorts with her broken knees, which came from the very first challenge.
First challenge, and she ate it.
Yeah. Absolute tough. I remember thinking this person is so tough the whole time. I thought that about Laurel, that she is so tough. And it must be so uncomfortable, must be in pain. And I'm like, she is so tough. The challenge went on for, it was really wet. Like that, it was soaking wet. And we were there for a long time. Apparently, Laurel's tribe, the red tribe, did get it a couple of times or once, and they didn't realize and didn't claim it. That's what somebody on crew said to Ma when she was in tears after getting voted out, which was like probably a pretty dumb thing to say.
Why would you tell her that?
I won't name names, but it was a little bit insensitive. I won't name names, so it was a little bit insensitive from that person to say that. Then Ma probably left and went home. See, John's here. Ma apparently solved it twice and didn't realize, was told that by one of the crew when she was in tears after getting voted out, and then just went home because that's a fucking horrible thing to tell her. Why would you tell her that? Maybe next day or whatever, but not like right in that moment. No. But ultimately, I think our brains were just cooked because we're like, there must be some strategy to this. Well, look, because there were lots of doubles, and I'm like, all right, let's look at the doubles. And that was working out. And then I suggested, let's count the colors. Yeah. And we realized there were only 5 green. or orange. I think it was orange or green. And there was only 5. And you see us go, we're going 1, 1, 1, 2. And we're like, what? Like there's only 5? So we just need to have one of those showing and then worry about the top with the double. So if you're ever in this challenge in another Survivor game, that's how simple it is. Count the colors, work out the 5, do the other 3, make sure they're showing, and then just find out how to place the double. One of the double is going to have to be at the top or the bottom of its block.
Yeah.
And then you just, like, because they're not like that, like they're like that. And then you solved it. So once we worked that out, it was a snap.
Hard to do though with the rain, the darkness. It's
fluoro paint.
All these things, you look back, you're like, oh, it's such an easy solve. But in the moment, in the heat, in the fast, it's been a long day, fast day. It all goes to shit.
Years of Brady got so frustrated in that challenge, and you can see when he knocks over the blocks, then Vince is very upset about it. Because like, we can reuse those blocks, and Brady's like, fuck those blocks. I hate this fucking thing. Brady was very frustrated. Kate and Tash were pretty good. But I was just steady on this like the whole time because I spent a lot of years, late nights, tired, playing video game raids with the crew, and like you die and it's hard and you just go again. Like you just keep pushing and you don't, you just don't worry about it. We'll find another try again. We'll find another solution. And I had that mindset on, and I felt that helped the team. And I'm not saying there's an ORCA thing. This was the one moment in the game I felt I was actually fucking helpful. It was like my one good moment.
All right. Well, then to continue talking about you for a little bit, all of the yellow, particularly you, are trying to convince Kate that she should play her idol for Ma, because Ma said to them, yeah, I'm done. I'm going home. Kate's idol expires here anyway. So she is like considering it, at least for a second. But I think the thing that sums it up is she's like, I don't know, Ma. Like, why would I save her? And so especially she would need to know for a fact. Oh, hang on. Fun fact. This was the real Finally Challenge Canberra 2, but they changed the challenge after 45 minutes because no one could solve it.
It's Ma's ultimate nemesis, the block puzzle.
Ma hates this challenge.
It's a demon challenge. It could have been such a moment of redemption. It could have been such an incredible moment of redemption, even though they were aired the wrong way around. Like if she had like won into the final tribal with that after getting eliminated with the same challenge.
She didn't need to win final immunity challenge in Canberra.
I know, but it just would have been a nice moment. Anyway,
but yes, Kate is considering it. Then yeah, she's like, I don't know, Ma, and she's like, I would need to know for certain that Ma is voting for Laurel because she wouldn't want to accidentally idle out John or Caitlin. So that's the other thing. Now, at Tribal, Ma openly says, I am voting for Laurel. So that's, And I think Kate could have had an awesome, Natalie Anderson moment.
I was just thinking that. I was going to be like,
I told you to vote for.
I was just about to say that. Yeah. It would have been the perfect Natalie Anderson moment.
Look, what we were appealing to, and it was a long shot, was that Kate would want to do something. If she was the sort of player that's got this expiring idol and wants to do something, like a Caitlin or a Laurel who's like, I've got something and I'm bored, let's do something, right? You could do something. That was sort of like the discussion. But it made no strategic sense for Kate to do this.
No, absolutely not.
If any of the OG Yellows, Self, Brady, Max, or Chloe had that idol, we would have 100% given it to Ma.
Oh,
100%.
For sure.
There would have been no question.
Sure. Yeah. But yeah, at camp, Ma is fighting for her life. She makes some convincing arguments. She, I think, is very aware of the Laurel and Caitlin connection. So she's appealing to John, being like, vote out Laurel. Laurel is a number for Caitlin. I would be a number for you. And I think that's the best argument she could have made to John. She knows that John is a logical player, a rational player. That's the move you make with him. But I think he rightly is like, well, we're only in this power position because of Laurel. We can't turn around and vote her out.
Plus, John feels that he and Caitlin are the ride or die, not Laurel and Caitlin. So for him, that doesn't make a lot of sense. Though it would do him.
Ma would just run right back to yellow whereas Laurel kind of can't do that now.
I don't know what Ma would do. I guess she'd come back to us. Like, I wanted to be in an alliance with her, and so did Max. So I guess there's a good chance she probably does come back to us.
Come back to
like, I never had any beef with her. Yeah. So that's probably what happens. And it turns into more of a 5-5. And then maybe we can bring Dale over with all that work we put into him. And it could be a 6-4. So it really doesn't make sense for John to do this at all. It's a huge risk.
Yeah. No, that wouldn't have been as good move. And we get Ma voted out 3-1 over Laurel while you guys are eating your Costco cupcakes right before the merge.
They were muffins.
Yeah, the Costco ones. They're like that big.
Yeah, I hate cupcakes. They hurt my teeth. I love muffins.
Oh, okay, sorry.
But I felt a bit sick eating it, to be perfectly honest. So sick I couldn't eat a banana later. But, we'll get to that.
Yes, we know that. Because at the end of this, we merge and we go into episode 7 with, the merge episode. And we get, Brady sums it up perfectly by saying, like, we've won every single challenge, but Red's the ones in control. Red's got the game by the balls. And he is spot on. And here I've got a whole paragraph of notes saying CK biggest Orca energy. This episode is where your Orca spikes. Because you're very confident that it's the OG yellow with Dale instead of Laurel, and it's versus the OG red with Laurel there. It'll be 5 strong, and then we're going to go to rocks, and you're trying to convince all the reds to flip. You're like cornering them, backing them up against a wall while some of them are trying to go to the toilet. Someone wanders off and chases them down. This is why you should work with me.
Have you ever seen strong arm tactics, like pushing someone up against a wall and being like,
you're
Josh,
almost like, work with me.
Laurel's gonna win this whole game, like you should just vote her out. And Caitlin's like,
girls are trying to go to the toilet, and you're like, I'm accosting her.
I'm pretty sure she'd been to the toilet. Thank you. I have some decency. It was after.
But then at the same time, you're going around. Laurel's the biggest threat, and then you're going to Laurel like, we need to stick together because like you and me are the biggest threats in this game.
I think I have a confession where the only people worth winning this game at this point that deserve to win are myself.
Oh, trust me. Trust me, I will get to that.
I
love this. I love this editing choice here where you're there with Brady and Chloe being like, well, like, I think Laurel has to have our tribe idol because, like, I don't have it. Max doesn't have it. You two don't have it. You would have told me. And then it cuts to them just, like, laughing about that.
It's so good.
I thought about that.
It's so good.
I thought about that all night. I'm like, where must the idol be? And I calculated it that Laurel must have it because, like, a Rosie or a Ma would have played it. I'm confident Annabelle would have told me she had it. Like, so it must be with them. And look, it's partly because Brady had shared the other idol clue with me that made me think that they didn't have it. But yeah, it's a great little edit with that. And I think I love Max, who's like, much smarter than me in this game, comes up to them and is like, do you have it? Like, fair play if you do. Like, you could. He's got it as a possibility out there.
Yeah. Yeah, you're just like, no, there's no way it's them. Max is kind of like, well, they might. Do you?
Yeah. I actually went straight to Laurel in the morning after I'd done all the computations overnight, and I'm like, you got the idol. I know you got the idol. Like, I saw you get it. Like, I'm just throwing shit out there to try and, like, trip her up. And she's like, no, I don't have the idol. And I'm like, I saw you. Like, just throwing shit out there.
I would have been so confused. I'd be like, what the fuck are you talking about?
Whatever you saw, you didn't see that.
It wasn't me.
I'd done the calculations. There's no way Brady could be deceiving me. No way. No possible way.
So confident. With your little fake snake in your pocket. So it's who's with who. No one knows where Dale is. Dale's in the like he was on the outs of the OG Reds, but now he's sort of in with yellows, but he wants to go back to red. I don't think at this point he knew where he stood. I think he was still like, and I don't say that as a bad thing. I mean, like, he was genuinely still probably like weighing up his options. He wasn't sure which is the best path for him to take.
Absolutely. There's a moment he turns on it. He was actually leading rocks until a very last moment, which we'll talk to after the challenge.
Yes.
He was leading rocks.
Okay. Yep. And then the challenge is holding a 3-liter bucket of water overhead with some temptation. So we get John dropping for Vegemite, Kate dropping for coffee, you drop for no reason at all. Yeah, Caitlin drops and gets the voodoo idol.
Caitlin doesn't
Your
drop
arms are
much
tired.
on-
You get it.
Yeah, no, but like it's pathetic. I should have done way better at this. I think the mistake was the layers of jackets, but I was too worried about dropping this very ice cold bucket of water on myself in about 4 degrees. But you know what? That's a pansy approach. Laurel, who I've already described as the toughest person in the game, doesn't give two
Spilt
shits.
the water all
She's
over
there
herself.
basically nothing in shorts and does the drop the water on herself and doesn't care. That's the sort of ballsy play that I should have been thinking about, not worrying about Precious getting a sniffle, right?
Okay, on this program, this is one challenge you don't need to defend yourself for because Dani did a similar one and was also the first one out. So it's okay.
Yeah.
You don't need to defend yourself.
I'm not the fastest, but I do go to the gym a bit. I should have been held a bucket. I don't need to beat Brady or Max. I think they would have always beaten me. But if I'd held it a bit longer, I had a plan in my head. I am dropping for the next advantage. I reckon that will be the good advantage, right? And then I would have got the voodoo idol. Yeah. So it annoys me that I couldn't keep going until that opportunity was there. That annoys me.
And just in my defense, I know I dropped early, but it also meant that nobody thought I was a challenge threat at all. I mean, not that Sydney challenges, but we get later in the season where Merlene and Jazz are like, well, she's a bit nothing anyway, and Challenger, I have to worry about her. So it plays well in my favor. It wasn't on purpose, but it plays well in my favor.
Look, I'm just trying to make CK not feel like he sucks.
Orcas, we're not so good with the bucket challenge, with the heavy lifting challenges.
I feel like I should have been better.
Enter Jules into the chat. I'm be good with a heavy bucket challenge.
Will we see it?
John will be very clear about his hatred of Vegemite.
Yeah, I know. You hate Vegemite.
He really loves that, yeah. They didn't eat, yeah. Oh, we missed Banana Gate. How did we skip Banana Gate?
Because we're not talking about every little thing that happens. This is the full season recap. We talked about, if you want to hear us talk about that, go back to that episode. Yeah. It's all on our YouTube. I downloaded
on our brand new YouTube under the Melbourne Survivor playlist. Original playing with
I was in charge of uploading all the Melbourne stuff. It's all there. CK's not there to talk about himself.
Click like and subscribe.
Me, Dani, and Ethan talked about it at length. But yes, Caitlin drops for the Voodoo Idol. I talked about it at length. I don't like this idol at all. It's way too overpowered. Dale, Chloe, and Cash.
Is he trolling, or is it like, is this legit, Matty P, or are you trolling?
He's just here to annoy us. Dale, Chloe, and Cash all drop chemistry item. They don't know what it is. Dale was first, and it's a challenge disadvantage. And then we're left with just Max and Brady, and Max ends up dropping. Brady wins immunity. Max talks a little bit about how he didn't want to win and label himself as a challenge threat. Coming second, does the same thing.
Max is biggest regret throwing this challenge. He hates. Yeah. He fucking hates.
If you're gonna throw it early. Drop out for the Vegemite toast. Don't come second. That's just as bad.
But the fans want Banana Gate. How can we deny one of the few people that are listening here live?
Look, so there was a merge piece. CK thought one of them had an idol clue, so he took John's banana. That's Banana Gate.
You have really told that story. You've given it no justice. Where is your sense of humor?
Because we don't need to hear about every detail on the full season recap. I do want to go to bed at some point tonight.
We barely talked about John. He wins the season. This is an important moment for him.
Well, that's because he's not in the edit.
But he's in this moment. This is a moment.
You thought he had an idol clue, so you took his fold. Moving on. Brady with immunity. How did he know it was John's banana?
People want the story.
But tell the story then. Let's go.
But keep it snappy.
I was hungry after all days of eating rice and that muffin. Well, I wasn't so much hungry, but my stomach wasn't feeling right. And I didn't want the feast, this weird stew they'd made us. But I'm like, I was craving a banana. I really want a banana. So I swapped plates with somebody else, John's plate. I didn't ask. I just swapped them. And he's like, what the fuck? And I'm like, sorry, bro, I want a banana. And I took one bite out of it. I'm like, that doesn't sit right. I'm like, does anyone want a banana? He's like, what the literal fuck is wrong with you? You insane douchebag. That in his head. That's what he said in his head. But yeah.
Okay. Thank you. Yeah, Brady wins immunity. We get back to camp, and we have what I have called my favorite scene of any LRG of all the ones we've watched.
We're doing a countdown on that later.
Well, this will be my number one. Spoiler
We don't
alert.
have votes yet. So we don't have votes yet.
Yeah, this will be my number one. So we get Caitlin tells Laurel about the voodoo idol, how it works and everything. They're scheming. And then they come up with an idea that Laurel is going to pretend to run off looking for the idol. So she just starts sprinting and everyone else sees her and goes, oh my God, she's gone for the idol. And everyone's chasing and we get the like chase music coming on. And then we cut back to Kate and Tash just sitting there with the coffee, just like, oh yeah, that's cool. Look, they're running. And it cuts back and the music is intense, the chase, and cut back to us. And then it's, yep, that's what's happening over there. And it's like the funniest thing.
I watched it over and over and over again. I could watch it over and over and over again. I wish I had it like a snippet of it here to put it up because it is just.
It's the music in the background.
100%. The editing
it's
here
the chase music to the
done.
The very casual lounge music with the other two.
I love it. I love the full CK chase. I love everything about it.
And then Laurel says something really lovely. Apparently, look, I don't recall this, but apparently, according to John, I didn't eat the bite of banana. I thought I took a bite, but maybe I'll take his word for it. Laurel says something really lovely after this point, and it speaks to why I'm so good on this season and what Laurel was enjoying. She literally says, like, I love that man. Like, he is insane, and I don't want him to go anywhere because I am so, like, intensely obsessed with this douchebag character I'm playing and so into myself and so self-assured about everything that Laurel was certain that if she ran, I would chase. And he knew that was going to make an amazing moment. There aren't many other people, I don't think, that would have just chased her like that. And there's this look on my face like, oh, what's going on? Like, you know, like, and Laurel's like, this is such an incredible foil for me because I can do things and he will react and it makes content. And it's such a great moment where she says, I love that guy.
Yeah.
Look, it's a little bit of me. Like every character that an actor plays, they find something in themselves. And yeah, there's a douchey part of me that I try to generally keep pushed down. But it was unleashed on this season for everyone's enjoyment.
But yeah, we do get that Laurel confessional of her laughing and, oh, I love that man. And then we cut to Kate, who's like retelling the story. And she's like, I was going to go, but then I thought, I'm having a coffee. I'm not running. And that would have been me. If I had a coffee in hand, I'd be like, nah, someone else can go. I'll sit here and enjoy my coffee. She stepped out of immunity. One of the only immunity challenges she doesn't win because she wanted a coffee.
There's also a great Chloe moment around here. It's a bit before this where I'm like, keep an eye on Caitlin because she's going to go look for the idol. She's got this advantage. You know, keep an eye on her. I'm going over here. And then Chloe's like, yes, Chris. Absolutely, Chris. It's like shut the fuck up, Chris. That's a great moment that she has in that whole segment.
Yeah,
I'm spitting off the planet in that whole segment.
You are.
You are off the planet this episode. You are like your terrible takes all over the place.
I was going to say my very next line is more of CK's terrible takes, because you're being
strategically. I know what's going on, but. I think I overinflate where I position in the game. But I know exactly what's going on strategically.
You're being fed a Dale vote at this point. You're being told, we're going to vote out Dale. And why would they vote out Dale? He's not like a John level goat, but he's a goat. For starters, John's not a goat, clearly. He's Denise. But also, this is a good time where you should be taking out a goat or someone who isn't that well connected. Because if you think it is going to be a 5-5, that's why they vote out Dale. Like, well, who's going to go to Rocks for Dale? Like, that's exactly why you wrote him out. So I'm sorry, that was a really bad call from you.
You would have gone to Rocks for Dale.
I said they weren't, but I was right. They weren't voting out Dale. I was absolutely certain on that. And I was right.
All right, but still, there was a very valid reason to vote for Dale.
As I said, no one in their right mind would vote for Dale. They're voting for me or Max. And Brady's like, how do you know that? And I say, because that's what I would do. But there is a great confessional where Kate's trying to spin this Dale bullshit. and like to our group of yellows, and I say, "Can I talk to you over here for a moment, please?" And I go over there because it was a waste of time, that conversation. And we go over there, and I say to Kate, "What's actually happening, please?" And she's like, "Oh, you don't think we're voting for Dale?" I'm like, "No." She's like, "You don't think we're voting for Dale?" I'm like, "No, you're not voting for Dale." And then she's like, "I can tell you that we're not voting for you." And then I'm
And you
looking
don't
at
believe
her.
that
And I'm
either.
like, no, I sort of clicked they're probably voting Max at that point. Which is fine because I was happy to go to Rocks for Max if Dale had gone to the Rocks with us. Which it actually was my preferred position because I like Max to be safe in that scenario.
Yeah. Problem is, though, when the votes ultimately came, obviously Dale flipped, but Brady vote on Dale. I think Brady missed the memo of who we were actually voting for.
So if you circle back, the reason why Dale's name was out there was because Brady was trying to spin up a Dale vote. This isn't really clear in the edit, right? But he was trying to spin up the Dale vote with the Reds. Like he's trying to get them to do, I guess, what you're saying, Jules, people should be doing. And he thinks he's convinced them because they're all saying, yeah, we're voting for Dale. And I'm like, dude, they're not doing that. So he thinks he's spun it, right? And then Dale's thinking about Rocks, but right before Tribal, and this is in it, Laurel is talking to Dale, and Laurel says, Brady's been targeting you. He's been trying to get us to vote for you. And that's when Dale goes, well, fuck those guys then. And it was absolutely true. What Laurel said to Dale was absolutely true. Brady was trying to spin up a Dale vote because he is a flipper. And I was saying, he's not a flipper. He hasn't done anything. Like, when did he flip? Like, he never voted with us. How can he be a flipper? And he's like, he's a flipper. I'm like, this is nonsense. Anyway, that's what killed the plan. That Brady's belief was the plan should be Dale, which you agree with, obviously, Jules. And when Dale found out about that, any chance that he had of going to Rocks was over.
I don't know if I think he should have been the vote, but I see the reason why he would be an option.
But the reason he was being talked about was because Brady thought that was the best play.
I think, as much as I love Max, I do think he probably was the best play for that other side.
That's what I thought too. So that's why I thought that's what they were.
That was the correct vote.
If they vote out me and leave Max in, that's a really dangerous move because Max without me, is an incredibly lovely, strong free agent who's available for any of them that want to make moves.
But also, he could have easily gone on an immunity run.
Yeah, but I also think they'd all want to pick him up because I think he's also a bit at that point goat-esque, right? Like he hasn't done anything, and so he's such a free agent. Whereas I'm always confined by my personality and the way I've played the game.
Mm-hmm. Yep. I don't have a lot more notes here, but Max gets voted out in a 6-3-1. So you, Max, and Chloe vote for John, and Brady votes for Dale. Now, can I point out, you are not happy that they want to vote out a goat. You think they're not going to vote. There's no way they're going to vote for Dale because he's a goat, and then you vote for the person that you have labeled as a goat.
I don't want goats. I want goats gone. Doesn't mean everyone else thinks the same. My mindset here is
your strategy is so much higher than everyone else's. Got it.
My mindset is Laurel is the best player in this game, hands down, and then myself. And we need to keep the big players around so that we don't get picked off, which, by the way, is what those people needed to do because they get picked off. So we need to take out people like Dale and John, who, I say is a goat. He's not, but that was my perception at the time because we need to keep the big players around. Now, I'm not playing anywhere near the level of game I think I'm playing, but my mindset is big players need to stay, but I know that's not what they're doing. I know they don't have the same mindset as me.
Yeah. And I will say, someone like you who is playing thinks they're playing a much better game than they actually are, is that someone you maybe want to keep around a bit longer? Because if you think you are playing the absolute best game, well, then you are going to take anyone to Final Tribal with you because you just want to get there.
I wouldn't have cared. I would have gone there with Kate and Caitlin. I wouldn't have given a shit.
Yeah.
Laurel. Me and Laurel.
Now that's the Final Tribal I would have enjoyed.
Laurel could be there too. I wouldn't have cared. Like Laurel's probably the one I'd be like me, Kate, and Caitlin, Laurel as the final four, and then we boot Laurel because obviously Laurel's going to win, and then I'll go with those other two, and I'll smash this thing. That would have been my mindset, and it would have been completely ridiculous. I would have got a rude awakening.
Oh well. Moving on to episode 8. The OG yellows, they're mad at being left out of the match. So Chloe has a thing where she's like, I need a minute.
I just did my notes, and it's the last notes I had. And then all I had for my little limited notes, I just said in the merge episode, I am absurd in this episode.
Yes, you are.
Anyway, Chloe needs a minute. Excuse me. He wasn't your boyfriend, no matter what you were telling yourself. He was my boyfriend, and he just got voted out.
No, but she's left out of it as well. Like, it's still, I think it would have been, even if you had gone, she still would have been feeling that same way. She wasn't that close with you, but she's left out of a vote. It's a number for her gone. So she needed a minute to not react.
She says this absurdity to me that, like, well, how do I know you didn't vote for, like, Dale? I'm like, what? Like, why would I vote for Dale? Like, I was championing the whole John thing, like, constantly.
Yeah. I wouldn't put it
That's
past
why I
her to do
start suspecting that she voted for Dale. That's why I thought she cooked it.
No
She's
one
made a
suspects
mistake.
Brady.
I just felt she cooked it, and that's why she felt guilty now. That's why I thought this was like a guilt reaction. That's what I felt it was.
Yeah, guilty
Sure,
contents. Yeah.
Okay. Do you do anything absurd before the challenge? I don't have any notes about it. I think your absurdity all came after. The challenge, we're in stages. We're throwing bean bags, and then we're balancing. Got the balls on the disc on a balance beam, and then there's a puzzle at the end. And this is where Kate wins her first of many immunity challenges.
Queen.
I had. You know what I'm not good at? You know what I'm worse at than throwing things on things? Balance.
What? Yeah.
No, the thing I'm worse than throwing things on things is balance. Like, this was such a nightmare challenge for me to get, and like a challenge that I had to win. I was like, oh man, I'm fucked.
So this is when you decide to go around and show everyone your fake idol and tell them that it's fake. That's a choice.
There was a mistake here. I grabbed the fake idol that we placed earlier. Problem is, Brady, Aurel, Chloe, they all know that it's a fake idol. So what was the point of that? And then I realized, even if some people are fooled into thinking I have an idol, I know they're vote splitting me and Brady. They'll definitely make sure I have the most votes. So that's why I tell them this, and then as I'm searching again for the real idol, I realized, okay, that was actually a mistake. And I try to correct it because I realized it was a strategic mistake to say I had an idol that I didn't. Because I knew the splitting.
Yeah. At Trouble, you are begging for your life. You are being an absolute whore. You are just like, someone just give me a name and then I will go to the end of the game. Like, you are making all kinds of deals here. You are just...
That was legit.
Oh, I know.
I would have gone.
Oh, I fully believed you. Absolutely, you would whatever they would give you, you would have run with.
Tash, and Kate gave me a name. I wrote that name down. I said, if they go, I'm with those two to the end. That was the deal. And they voted. They both voted for Brady. So good on them.
They did both vote for Brady, and then Caitlin goes, nah.
I just want to go back on this. This is the last thing about me, like, being in the game. And I was saying to Jules before the show, we've watched a lot of these tribal councils in this coverage. I don't think anybody has ever been that, like, dare I
ridiculous.
say it, ORCA in their final tribal council. Like, in any of these things. Like, Liz finally asked me a question. I'm like, you know what? I'm taking over this tribal council. And I'm like, this and this and this and this. And you should be voting out Brady. He's like great at the challenges. He says he's like a really nice scoutmaster, but he's an amazing liar. And I've just realized it. And you know what? I'm not very good at the challenges. And honestly, you know what you get with me? Like, he's stealthy. Get rid of the stealthy guy. Like, what am I? I'm just so fucking obvious. Like, why would you vote for me? Like, I push, and then the argument with Chloe about cooking the Dale vote. And like, you know, I'm like, it's a circular argument where she just does not understand the point I'm trying to make, because I guess she didn't make the mistake. But if Dale had gone, it would have been extremely frustrating if Dale had actually voted for us and then one of those guys voted for Dale and ruined the rocks. Like that would have been very, very annoying. And that's what I was annoyed about, which I think is fair, right? Like you go all in with the one plan we have and, hope for the best. And if it actually had come off and then got ruined because someone errantly voted for Dale, it was very upsetting. And that's what I was trying to suss out. But Chloe was so loyal to Brady that she's just covering for him.
Yeah. Yeah, look, at Travel, Caitlin does play the voodoo idol. I feel like she was going to play it because she could. It was the last chance to play it. We see afterwards, and we talked about it at the time, she didn't know. She was deciding back and forth between playing it on you and directing the votes to Brady or playing it on Brady and directing the votes to you. And that would have been hilarious if she'd gone the other way because then Brady would have played his own idol and she would have idled herself out. But instead,
that sadly would have never happened because John had clocked Brady's idol.
Yeah.
When he went into his bag, and John says he would have said to Caitlin, "Don't do that," if that's what she'd done. Which is sad. But
because he goes to stand up to play it, and she just beats him to it, and he's like, "Oh, I'll just sit down again, though."
Yeah, that's fun footage. It's like, wait, what's happening?
He's like, "Oh, okay, I'll wait."
Yeah.
I'll wait. Oh,
right. I'll sit back down.
I won't play my idol. I'll save it for next time. Thanks.
Caitlin was taunting because she's like, I want to do something interesting with this, but I also want to vote out Chris.
Yeah,
and
she wanted you
Chris
gone.
Isn't very interesting. So she was very torn about.
She needed to put the votes onto Brady and then change them.
Yeah, she's like this. I want to do something fun because I like having fun, but Chris just has to go, and that's not very interesting.
And see, this is where I would push that. There's we've talked about when we talk about orcas of this season. We talk about you, and we talk about Annabelle, and we talk about Laurel. Caitlin is also very orca, especially in this moment of just I have an idol, I'm going to play it just for shits and giggles. That's very much an orca thing to do.
The ridiculousness where she also plays an idol on her immune self to the displeasure of pretty much everyone in the jury is also quite orca, I would admit.
For Caitlin, I think a better play would have been to hang on to it because only her and Laurel know it has to be played in one of those two tribals. She could just be like, yeah, I've got this idol. They don't need to know.
Yeah. There's a confessional later where Kate's like, I don't know where she played that. She could have, saved that, but I guess she wanted to, whatever. Kate's a bit confused about why Caitlin did that.
Yeah. But anyway, yes, it was meant to be a 5-3-1 to get you out, and instead it ended up being an 8-1.
I'm the only person in LRG history that voted themselves out. And in fact, the last vote that is read is my vote. I don't know if they planned that, but they probably couldn't. I doubt they planned it.
If Laurel doesn't throw the stray vote onto Caitlin, you would have been out literally 9-0, unanimous.
Yeah, 9-0. But I'm the only person who voted themselves out. So that's something.
Good job.
And then straight to the next vote.
We don't even have an immunity challenge. We're just sorry, yoink, take it back. You can't talk. No one's immune. Go and vote. I love the no talking. Go straight into the vote again. Love that. I don't love the no immunity challenge.
Everyone on the crew rolled their eyes. You mean when Caitlin played the idol when she was immune? Not the voodoo. Yeah. No one was impressed. But it was very awkward, admittedly. Now, I don't mind no immunity. This is better than the Canberra debacle. Whatever. It's better than Canberra.
I think that's an integral part of the game is having someone be immune. I think either have Kate hang on to it for 2 rounds, which I don't love that either, but someone needs to have it.
Canberra. That was wrong with Nick having that. You don't get
have a quick challenge. Have a quick challenge at tribal.
Draw rocks for immunity if it's like that.
Someone needs to be immune. That's kind of the point.
You can do it
You
as
have to
quick
have an
as
opportunity to save yourself. If
you can do it as quick as a quick trivia question that's a number and a large number, and whoever gets closest to it. Done.
Yeah, something like that. Because Tash had no opportunity to save herself. So you have to have that a bit that's why I say when there's forced fire making and when you don't have idols or anything, you have a chance to save yourself every single round. You just need to win a challenge. which is, easier said than done, but you have something. Yeah, Tash gets voted out here. Yeah,
I at least have the comfort that even if I hadn't have been like voodooed out, there's no way I make it through this tribal council.
No.
Like, no way.
No, the next one you're done. Yeah.
With no discussion, like if I could go back and then like actually start having conversations with Laurel and Kate and Tash, I could potentially get myself back in the game. But with no conversation, I would just be the safest vote, and I think everyone.
Yeah.
would
100%.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah, and so it ends up being a 3-3-2. Brady idles himself, which is smart because he was the 3. Then Tash had 3 and Chloe had 2.
Maddie, picture, have you even ever watched this fucking season? Like,
no, he hasn't.
Caitlin played the voodoo idol. It redirected all votes cast for Brady onto me. So when Brady was read out, it was actually reads as Chris, and my vote, which was for Brady, was therefore a Chris vote.
Yeah.
Go and watch it.
Yeah, it's a
the
good
best.
season. It's number 1.
Number 1.
Of the 11 that were out at the time.
Correct.
But yes, we see, Tash go out, and I remember being quite devastated because even though like pre-season she wasn't my winner pick, I think once the season started, I was like, I thought Tash was going to go all the way.
100%. I thought she was in such a strong position. Her game, I was really. I mean, I liked her from the get-go, but I was like, the deeper we got, the more I was like, oh, I'm really enjoying her game.
Yeah. And there was a live party for that one, I remember, because it was me and Ethan were sitting there on the couch and everyone else in the room knew what was about to happen. And so they're like, we're going to vote again. And we were just like, what? And everyone's laughing at us because we're shocked by it. And then, we see Tash voted out. I was just like, oh, she's right over there. I'm sorry, Tash. It was very sad for her. But anyway, we move into episode number 9.
By the way, and look, I can't remember in the real time because a lot of John's tribal council speech is edited out, like because it went on. But
no,
in what we do see, he doesn't talk enough about his move here because it's probably the best
that
thing
was
he
a
does.
big move.
Biggest out on a limb, sees that Brady has an idol, goes with it's only he, Brady, and Chloe that vote for Tash, and it doesn't like form some big 3. He has the 3 of them for the rest of the game. It's just a strategic move to take out a major competitor that he knows is going to be a threat. It elevates his position in the game. It's an incredibly strong move from John, and I actually don't think he spoke about it enough in Final Trouble. Well,
and it's also a good move because he's now in a position of power. He's now in the majority. It's probably a good time to cut someone from the majority to make your majority last a bit longer, because if they just go and pagong all of you guys, like if they vote out Brady and Chloe in succession, then it's just their little group and they have to start cutting each other. Why not take the chance to remove a number from it early, and then it gives his little group power an extra round? So I think
plus he's getting himself advanced. If he's in a final 5 with Laurel, Caitlin, Kate, and is that the final 4 he's going to be?
Tash.
And Tash, I can tell you what, I don't care who he gets to the end with, he's not winning.
No.
Like the jury loved the other 4 of those more than they loved him, right? And it's because his game was quite subtle. I think he plays a very, very strong game and very much deserves the win. It's very incredibly strategic. But
Scott's talking about Tash being. I do remember that. I remember she was saying she just had the.
Caitlin.
No, that was Tash. I remember her talking about it. She just had the COVID vaccine, and she was having side effects from it, and she was
Caitlin was also sick, and they let her sleep inside on the second night. I know that you discussed it, but you're the only one who did it. Like Laurel didn't do it, and I believe Laurel was part of the discussion.
Yeah, it was you. Because we get in the next episode, Laurel's confessional is like, I didn't do that, but I did that.
I'm just saying it's
he's
John.
taking
I
credit
think
for it.
John,
Sorry.
it's your best move in the entire game. It sets up your end game. It's just, I think Tash could easily fill John's spot. Similar players, it's subtle, very strategic, very socially connected. It's absolutely a brilliant move for John here, and I think it's what wins him the game. But he didn't talk about it enough at Final Trouble.
I guess because Denise didn't make a similar move.
Because Denise didn't make a similar move.
John, accept your flowers.
We're heaping them on you. Take it.
Yeah.
He's like, do you remember when Denise
yeah.
took out like Michael Skupin or no, who Penner? When Denise took out Penner, that was like my best move. Is that right? I haven't watched that season many times.
It's been a hot minute for me as well. I do normally remember these things, but not in that much detail. But we get the John confessional saying that I think he was the only person to see Brady stand up and almost play the idol. So he's like, well, shit, can't vote for Brady. And
he actually saw the idol in the bag. He didn't just see him stand up. He saw putting it back in. And
okay. Yeah. But he's the only one that clocked it. Yeah. No one else saw that coming.
Which I also find crazy because I feel like I'm super aware of people's movements at Tribal Council. Like someone leans a little somewhere. I'm like,
and he fully Brady stood up.
Yeah, he was up.
Yeah. And he's
maybe because it was Caitlin was up at the same time, so maybe it was the double.
Yeah, too much.
And I got up with that weird snake thing. Everyone was confused. It was a busy Tribal Council.
That's fair. But we get the Laurel saying that I didn't do that, but I did that. John saying I had incepted it into Laurel by convincing her that Caitlin had ditched her for Tash and Kate. Okay.
Which you get that vibe from the edit. That vibe is certainly in the edit that has occurred.
Yeah. I'll talk about the deep dive, but I didn't want to risk burning Tash and Caitlin's jury. But okay.
This is true, but the way Tash talks at the tribal, she's like, John, stop fucking saying nothing and talk about your fucking moves, where you voted me out. She's like, stop underselling yourself, bitch. That's Tash. So I get where John's at, but then Tash's like, talk about it. Yeah,
talk about voting me out. But yes, we get to this immunity challenge. It's folklore. Liz is reading a story, and they have to answer questions. This challenge was hard to follow what was actually happening because, from a viewer's perspective, we didn't get a running tally. We didn't know what really happened if you got an answer wrong. Did you have to then go and burn it and go and get the other one? Didn't really follow it, but Kate won.
It's bad, but I must say, when I found out this was the challenge, I really wish this had been the challenge, the one before.
You would have crushed it.
I'm not saying I would have crushed it. I'm not the fastest runner, but I can run and I can memorize things. So I would have gone in this I have a chance at this. I didn't think I had a chance at that other one, so I was a bit sad.
Yeah. But we get Kate winning, and she's talking about that she knows that she's putting a target on her back when she's winning, and that once she doesn't have it, she's probably going to be targeted. But she doesn't have to worry about that right now. We get a confessional where Brady's made this alliance with Laurel and Caitlin and includes Chloe in on that. Chloe makes an alliance with Dale and John and brings Brady in on that. And I remember talking to Brady about it afterwards. It wasn't included in the edit, but we got in his little meet the cast video. We get a thing from him being like, "Oh shit, I'm in the wrong alliance," and this is what he was talking about. That he didn't need to be sticking with Laurel and Caitlin. He needed to be with the guys.
The guy? What? With Laurel, John, and
He was with Laurel and Caitlin. He needed to be with Dale and John.
Yeah.
The alliance that Chloe had made for them.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Goes wires cross.
Yeah. But that's who he needed to be in an alliance with. Ultimately, it didn't matter because I think he was going there anyway. But
he goes out with a record.
Sorry,
Brady goes out with a record here that will never be beaten. I can't imagine. Immune 9 times in a row and then voted out. 9 times in a row he was immune. All the pre-merge, individual immunity, voodoo idol, immunity idol, voted out. I can't imagine that will ever happen again.
No, I don't think so. That's pretty tricky.
Impressive.
We go to tribal and we see you on the jury in one of Annabelle's dresses.
Yeah, and she has to upstage me, but wait.
Then she's in the background just leaning against the tree, just being like, "Hey guys."
Yeah. I was like, which dress are you okay with me stretching out the most? She's like, I can wear this one. I'm like, well, this one's good. It goes with my outfits, black and white.
Yeah. You looked gorgeous.
Gorgeous.
I wanted to give her outfits. Some glory, so I said I'd wear one. And then Liz is like, well, Liz, Annabelle, if you want to also just stand at that tree, that's cool too. And she's like, great.
Yeah. I loved it.
Well, when you're in the most moments, you're like, well, let it play for the edit. We'll have some fun with that. So it's worth it.
Yeah.
I think I was just keen to show people that like I don't really care about wearing dresses or whatever, and I look particularly good in them, but like I don't care about it. But like it doesn't bother me. I've worn dresses before at parties and stuff. But I was hoping it would sort of show I was actually like just a bit of fun, and I'm obviously like I'm not like a complete douchey like right wing loser or something. Like I could be wearing a dress on like this show. Like I am what I said I am, and like sort of thing. Like that was part of my thinking, and also
you weren't just being performative with your feminism.
Yes, correct. I was legit, but maybe that was performative in itself. It was cold though. I did it for the peeps. When Kate comes in that crop top later, like it was fucking cold. Like you could do it.
Yeah.
That's why I'm wearing the vest. I should have kept it off, but it was so cold.
Bless you.
Thank you.
So
but yeah, as soon as tribal starts, there's whispering, and Brady and Chloe are whispering to each other, trying to work out what's happening. But yeah, it's over. They vote for Caitlin, but everyone else votes for Brady.
I want to jump back to something we didn't talk about for two reasons.
Was it about you?
Three reasons. Yeah, certainly. That's one of the reasons. When we were naming the merged tribe, I was I'm like, well, surely we're going to be blue. Surely we're going to be blue Flago, right? Like we're going to be blue Flago. Like there's nothing else. But then Max comes up with this Nevik shit, and I'm like, well, I still think my idea is better, but I'm going to back you, buddy, so it's fine. But he hasn't let me in onto the Kevin thing, right? At all. And he keeps going, it's Hungarian for camaraderie and shit. And I'm like, are you Hungarian? What the fuck? Anyway, whatever, look cool. And we should be blue Flago because it's way funnier. I'll just back you in, Max, with your thing because I'm not understanding the bit he's doing. And then when we're at Tribal Council at Max's vote, I think it's for Max has gone up to vote. And John's like, it's just like Kevin backwards. It's probably his fucking brother or something. And I'm like... And I say, nah, mate, his brother's name's Travis. I'm just making shit up. Like, I'm just backing back up. Whatever. But then John gives his such incredible, like, vote confessional where he writes Zam. And it's like, it's Hungarian. And does he say it's like Hungarian for like, I'm voting you out? Like, it's probably like the best voting confessional we've had in 11 seasons when John says, Zam is Hungarian where I'm voting you out. Like, is so fucking elite and funny. We've all played. It's so hard to be that funny and creative on the spot. Like when I can do that in orgs where I've got time, like 5 hours to think about what I'm going to say. That's all witty and fun. Like, in the moment, like that is so good from John. He also has an amazing vote out on Marina as well. I think that's really, really good. I can't remember what it is, but his Marina vote out confession was really good as well. But like it's top work from John. I really love it. Yeah, Zam. It's Hungarian from voting you out. Or your goal or whatever it is. I can't remember what he said, but like, yeah, it's great.
And episode 10, we get Chloe's just been blindsided by the Brady vote. She's very upset. She thought she was aligned with Dale and John, and they're reassuring her they're still with her. And, well, that ends up being the final three. So, good job. I don't have a lot.
She doesn't buy it. She absolutely flips to the girls here.
Yeah, she is wanting a final three of all women at this point.
Her belief, which I don't look, it's not going to fly, but I think her belief is if she's with the girls and she's the only yellow, that she'll get the yellow votes and she'll win.
Yes.
That's her plan.
She did think that.
Yeah, absolutely. And in the moment, you totally think that you're like, well, if I'm the last person standing from that tribe and the majority of my tribe is on the jury, surely that's my vote. Like that, it's a very quick thing to think, especially in LRG where like there's not 45 days of a game to dissect.
And I mean, she's not that far off being correct. I mean, she gets 3 of the yellow jury votes.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's not that bad of a read, honestly. But yeah, so we go to the challenge where we've got a balance beam where we're like carrying sticks like this, and then you make quotes and throw the quotes, and Kate wins again.
Laurel.
I don't know a lot about the challenge.
I edited it, and it's really fucking good because Laurel is epic in it. She's far behind. And then when she finally gets across the line, she does this little dance, like just a massive thrust, and then like a little dance. And then when she's putting in the pole, she's sort of like wiggling her butt, like it's. And then I like crank the music into like a more like pensive thing there. And it's so good. And then I did a real dirty on Dale, where like he can't even get across the balance beam. And like right before Kate wins, I have Dale like dropping his like things, like he's just a clumsy oaf. But that's actually him dropping after he's found out the challenge is over. But it just makes him look like a real doofus. But it was funny for the challenge. It looked good on the challenge.
Yeah.
But Laurel,
I'm sure it was great.
again,
I just don't care that much about challenges.
Laurel's great at it. Like this is when I was editing this, I'm like, Laurel is so good because in the heat of the game, you know, she's still being an entertainer. Like, and that's what's so good about her on television.
I don't think that's her putting anything on. That's just who she is.
100%. I think she's just naturally an entertainer. Like you can't help but be entertained by her.
If it's just entertaining herself, that's all it needs to be.
Absolutely.
Yeah. We get a confession from Kate.
I would contend this is the last good challenge in the whole game. They go downhill fast from here.
Well, there's only 2 more after it.
Is there only 2?
Yeah, we're at final 6.
Oh, okay. Well, there's one really bad one and then everything. Yeah.
Anyway, we get a confessional from Kate saying that she knows that every challenge she wins, her threat level is rising, but when the challenge starts, she doesn't care. And like I can relate to that. Like in her head before the challenges, she's like, I need to not do as well in challenges. When they start, she's like, nah, fuck it, let's go. I'm winning this.
100%. Can't help it.
Like, we can't help it.
Go all in. Yeah.
This vote is one of the strangest things you'll ever see because it's a final 6 3-2-1, which is like the ultimate survivor move.
I love a 3-2-1.
No one claims
Jules is
it.
a slut for a 3-2-1, just to be clear.
But no one claims it, or from what I can tell, actually fucking planned it. It just sort of happened.
No, well, and because Caitlin is talking about that she wants to go to Rocks. She wants to go to Rocks more than anything else.
That was her whole thing all season was Rocks, and I remember actively being like, "Stop talking about Rocks."
There's a whole
I think that was a nominee for like duo of the season with Caitlin and Rocks.
It was.
There's a whole montage here of her constantly talking about Rocks to every single person. Well, he'll do this, and then
because she thinks it would be funny. That's it.
But she doesn't.
It would be funny.
Who's the one that doesn't? Who doesn't go through with the plan to not make Rocks? Is it Caitlin?
Chloe.
In the end? Chloe. Yeah,
Chloe
refuses to Rocks.
Chloe refuses to, but if you look at who votes for who, I've got that. No one I don't care about who votes for who, but I've got that.
Is this supposed to be boys and girls? Is that the ultimate outcome going in?
Caitlin is the one vote, so it's not like her vote. It would have only gone to Rocks if she had voted for herself. So we were never going to have Rocks here.
Hang on, what?
Because the Laurel votes are Chloe, Kate, and Dale. The Caitlin votes are Laurel and John, and then the Chloe vote is Caitlin.
Yeah, so Chloe was supposed to vote for. Chloe was supposed to vote
for it to go to Rocks. Laurel and John would have had to vote for Chloe.
For Chloe.
Yeah.
For Caitlin.
Because there's three votes on Laurel. There's 2 votes on Caitlin, and there's 1 vote on Chloe. The 1 vote on Chloe is Caitlin. She can't flip her vote to herself. So to get a tied vote. Sorry?
Okay, so John's claiming this is his move. I convinced Caitlin that Laurel and I are voting for Chloe. So Caitlin was trying to create Rocks by voting for Chloe, which if she wanted Rocks was the person to vote for because there's no way Chloe would go to Rocks. She would need to be immune. So if you wanted Rocks, that is the right person. And then Laurel says, I thought Dale was going to vote for Caitlin. Yeah, so he thought it was a boys-girls thing. She thought it was a boys-girls thing at the time.
Okay, yeah.
But Laurel and I wanted Dale to join us. Yeah, so that was the boys and girls scenario.
Okay.
Dale chickened out. Yeah. Okay.
Dale chickened out. Dale went through it on Laurel. Well, I mean, I would say that's the correct call.
But it sounds like John's claiming the 3-2-1 by convincing Caitlin they were going to do Chloe.
Yeah.
Which, if this is true, John, I don't recall you mentioning this at the Final Tribal Council because that is also
Too busy talking about Denise.
This is a hell of a move,
Yeah,
mate.
orchestrating a 3-2-1, like, mwah, I love a 3-2-1.
And he
but
say again, he didn't want to offend Caitlin and Tash. He said this. He didn't want to lose their votes. But honestly, those girls respect game.
they would have loved to be like, yeah, the big move was taking me out. Damn right it was.
Absolutely.
That's what we all want to hear. That's the answer.
Like, I can tell you now from playing orgs, if I'm on the jury and someone is not really talking about my vote, I'm like, what the fuck? Like, talk about my vote out. It was a big deal. I'm sure whatever scenario it is, my vote out was always a big deal.
It's the most
Talk about
important
me.
thing that possibly happened in the game.
Exactly.
100%.
Exactly.
Anyway, John's building an incredible resume here with his 3-2-1 and his little 3-2-2 idle move on Tash. Top quality gameplay, as well as surviving all the votes and whatnot.
Yeah, he's been at every tribal council at this point.
Yeah.
Right?
This actually,
Yeah, he does.
John, I finally understand what you talk about now. I've never understood this. So John votes correctly at every vote that he goes to, which is all of them, other than this one. And he said to me that, but yeah, I did that deliberately. And I'm like, yeah, whatever. But now I understand what he meant by he did it deliberately, because he orchestrated this 3-2-1 where he was on the 2, which is pretty amazing, actually. That would have been hard to explain in a jury sense, but yeah,
especially when everyone's tired at that point. No, they're not all gamers or number freaks. People would have been like, what?
Yeah.
So, yeah. And then we get into our finale. And so we get it. Caitlin wants to vote out Kate and then John because she thinks she'll win against Chloe and Dale, and she absolutely would have. Caitlin finds the idol in the log in front of everyone and just opens it up. It's like, oh, look.
Yeah, I remember this footage and being like, how is nobody seeing this? Like, the footage was on it, so it like makes it very obvious. But I was just like, and then I thought John had seen it, but then didn't pick it up in time because it like in the footage it looks like he's looking down directly at it. Like it was just like I was just like, what is
sitting on it?
He was literally he's like looking down like at it at one point. I was just like, how did he not find
the looks on everyone's face when Caitlin's opening that idol is classic. They're all fucking angry and devastated and so fucking annoyed because it just means you just of the final 5, now it's a final 4. Like they don't know Caitlin's also going to win the challenge. Like you're limiting yourself to a final 3. Like it's the looks on their face. No one is happy for her. No, it doesn't matter if they've been aligned with her or whatever. No one is happy that she's found this thing. Now, obviously, production moved it there to be more easily found.
Yeah, because it had been sitting somewhere else for ages and never found.
Yeah, so that whole time I spent searching, right, it wasn't there. I was annoyed about this. So I went back, I'm like, where was the idol? You know, I searched up and down that camp. And they're like, oh, yeah, we hadn't put it out yet. I'm like, well, that's pretty fucking annoying, thank you. Like, we'd had 2 votes since merge. Like, why are you not putting it out? Just being lazy or, disorganized. But then Tara hid that one and then later moved it. And I asked Tara to show me where she hid it because I wanted to know if it had been where it was supposed to be, would I have found it? And fuck, it was hidden so well. No one was finding that fucking thing. I wouldn't have found it in my endless search as the guy that's getting voted out and can just look for idols for like 20 minutes. Like it was so well hidden. So it was good that they moved it, I think.
Yeah, I think that happens a bit. Like you don't want it to be too obvious, but also people don't have much time to search. So it still needs to be easily found. But anyway, she's found the idol. Our immunity challenge. So you have to run and collect blocks, but you can only get 2 blocks at a time. And then you have to stack it to make their equal towers. And we get Caitlin winning her first immunity. And we get her kicking the puzzle, Michelle Fitzgerald style, which I believe I was told at the time they had to tell her to do that because she didn't know what they were talking about. And really want to survive. They were like, you need to kick the puzzle.
Everyone struggles with this puzzle. But to me, even when she stacked it, they don't look even. Like, it doesn't look like they've been cut well enough to actually be even. So I understand people struggle with the challenge because I don't think they were even piles. Like she had the right answer, but like there was still like a few mills. Like it wasn't like a flat top.
Right.
Don't know. I didn't notice that. I wasn't
anyway,
that close.
I was watching this just very recently, And I feel like Caitlin could have won the game here with a different approach. I think that what she should have done, it's not a guarantee, but she should have idled out John and saved Kate so that she has Kate in front of her as the biggest target. Dale is still probably winning that challenge. And then hopefully
but
they
she
vote
doesn't
out.
know what the challenge is.
So what?
I think
Kate would have
not knowing what final immunity is on a blind challenge, you bank on Kate probably winning it.
So what? I think Kate would have taken Caitlin to the end. Kate doesn't give a shit.
Yeah. Kate would have taken her 100%, but getting to final tribal and winning it are two very different things. She knows she loses to Kate.
But I don't know if she loses to Kate.
She does lose to Kate. I think all of the jury have said that if Kate's at the end, she wins.
Yeah, I think Caitlin can get John and Laurel's vote and maybe Kate's probably winning, but I actually think Caitlin had the better game. It depends how Caitlin has the better game. Like, I get what the jury sense was. I had that sense. But I actually think that Caitlin has a better game. And if she could talk about it, like, she could have convinced me. I was open to both of them. I thought they were both great. Like, I rated both Kate and Caitlin, you know? So I feel like the move for her was to idle out John and either Dale wins and then I reckon they force it and vote Chloe. Or she turns on Kate, fine. And then she's at the end with Dale. She's got so many options. But it's not a final four where, well, Caitlin's obviously the person we're voting out now and it's over, right? That's what she turns the game into here. And the only way to avoid that was to keep Kate in the game, which she had the ability to do with the idol, which would have been such a big move. But
you get blinders of who is the biggest threat. She's not thinking about too far down about if I do this and I do this. She's thinking, I need to get Kate out. That's all she's thinking about. And so she votes Kate out.
I get it. And look, John says here he would have voted for her. Kate was winning, probably, right? But you have in my scenario, she has saved Kate. She's got the I saved Kate argument as well,
and
right?
I think the other thing to think is if Kate is out of the way, Caitlin is probably the favorite to win the final immunity challenge. Again, this is when it's a blind challenge and you don't know what it is. Anything else it could be, out of those four, I would back Caitlin to win more than any of the other three.
I know they talk about that in the discussion that, one of them is definitely going to win. But to this point, Caitlin has won exactly one challenge, and it was the weird box that no one could complete.
But that's the freshest in your mind. Like, you're like, well, Kate's won all the others. Caitlin's won the other one. That's the freshest in your mind.
But Caitlin also knows in herself that Dale has sucked at everything. John can't see anything. And Chloe, we don't really know much about in terms of challenges.
And Kate does dig her own grave, as John points out.
Her speech at Tribal is basically her final
Tribal speech.
I'm just saying that had she had her time again, you're playing an LRG, you're not playing for $1 million. Playing the idol on Kate would be a ballsy move that might have got her there. Like, it might have been enough.
Yeah, well, you just talked about, though, with the org when you've got 45 days to think about stuff. She had 10 minutes to decide what she was going to do.
The thing is, Caitlin always looks to do the most fun thing, and on this one time, she looked to do the more safe thing. And if she'd done the more fun thing, I think she would have been in a better spot in the final four.
Yeah. One other point I'll make, if she has just idled someone out of the game, does her threat level rise above Kate's?
Potentially.
And then do they take her out instead of Kate at the end?
Potentially, but what's the difference? What's the difference? She's already going at 4.
I'm just going to maintain that I don't know that was the right. I think letting Kate go here was the right move for her.
It was, but I think that it's statistically the best move for sure. It's safe, but I'm just saying if she'd done the more interesting thing, she could have had potentially a higher.
She could have. If you had been better at balance beams, you could have still been in the game. But we have to go by what actually happened.
I could have been immune 11 times in a row and get out the
exactly. Coulda, woulda, shoulda. Anyway,
Are you telling me
That's
it
not
wouldn't be
what
a better
happened.
end of this game if Caitlin saves Kate with an idol? How amazing would that be here?
that would have been amazing, but it didn't happen.
It's the more fun option. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I'm maintaining that from a strategic point of view, I disagree. I don't think it's the right move. I think she made the right move here, voting out Kate.
I get about Kate's final travel speech. If Caitlin comes in there with John's story, which is a deservedly winning story, except she found the voodoo idol and then she took me out with that, and then she played an idol to save Kate and then took Kate out or brought Kate in or whatever she's fucking the story is. Like it's a pretty dynamic. It's a big story. Like John's story is so subtle, but it's John's subtle story with some big bits. Like it's a pretty winning story. Kate didn't really do anything. If you actually think about it, Kate didn't do anything.
But not against Kate.
But Kate didn't actually do anything if you actually think about it. Like she just was in a dominant position.
But that's what
played
happened.
strong.
The jury's
And won
perception.
immunities.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the jury's perception, though.
It's not like
And they all really liked her as well. You can't underestimate that.
Yeah, I wasn't the biggest fan of Caitlin. I'm talking about this in retrospect. I think Caitlin's amazing, and I love her on the season. Love her. I think she's potentially the MVP of the season. Like, it's hard with her and Laurel, but she's so good. Her confessionals are so good. But I just, it was the voodoo of it all. We never were connected. Like, I was not a fan. It would have been very hard to get my vote for her. But everyone else was coming out of the game talking about how great she was. And I'm like, really? But they're like, she's amazing, which I see now on the rewatch, but I didn't see in the But she was quite beloved by a lot of the jury.
Yeah.
Maybe not as much as Kate, but quite beloved.
No. Yeah. No, I'm not disagreeing with any of that part. I'm just saying I still think she made the right move, and that going against Kate at Final Tribal, she loses. But
Kate,
move on.
Let's move on. We are not going to agree here. We're having
this move
circular.
over and over again. Move on.
One little thing. A Caitlin, Chloe Final Tribal, is it going to be super interesting vote-wise? It's going to be like a 3-2-2.
All right, good.
Yeah.
Let's move on.
Absolutely.
Yeah, everyone's trying to convince Caitlin to play the idol on them. Caitlin likes the idea of an August Final 3, but doesn't think she can beat Kate. And then Kate makes the thing of like, I won't even say anything. I'll Final Tribal, I'll just sit there and I won't say anything. And like, come on, as if she's going to do that.
I know. Do anyone believe that? I'm just vote for Caitlin. That's what I'll say. Like,
And then Kate, instead of pitching to try and save herself at Tribal, she is making her Final Tribal speech. And so it's just like, oh, okay, cool. Yeah, we're definitely going to vote her out. Caitlin plays the idol on herself to double her immunity. And Kate is voted out in 4-1.
Jury looks just as impressed as everyone else was when they saw Caitlin find that idol.
Correct.
That's the thing. If she'd like, I play this on Kate, we would have been like, that would have been the reaction. Like, it would have been Eliza, like.
All right. We get the Dale confessional that he's happy to have beaten Rancey's spot from season 2.
Yeah.
I do love that. Caitlin is very aware that if she doesn't win this next immunity challenge that she's fucked, which is true. And then we get the final immunity challenge, which is holding a plank of wood from the bottom, holding it up like this. So that I think to me is very, very geared towards a male winning that, because that is all about your strength in your forearm and your wrist.
A male tennis player, no less.
Exactly.
Days.
This was like, Dale's been sitting there doing so badly at challenge that it's like, here's one that's right in your wheelhouse. So yeah, Dale wins final immunity.
Like 20 minutes. You could have held that for like 20 minutes, I reckon. Yeah. No problems.
And it's really it's John and Caitlin pitching that the other needs to go. Dale and Chloe are the ones who get to decide. I don't think they realize they are deciding who's going to win the game. I feel like if they knew that was how it was going to happen, that whoever they kept was going to win, I feel like maybe they don't vote out Caitlin here.
John had to work really hard for them not to send it to fire. Like, Chloe really wanted to send it to fire because she had this little thing she was going to say at Final Tribal. And I'll say that. But she really wanted it to be fired. Basically for this little like catchphrase she was going to have. And John had to fight against it so hard. He'll tell you that he couldn't believe how much he had to convince her to do that. But what Chloe wanted to say was, these two made fire, I played with it.
Oh,
because Dale made the fire in the first challenge. You see? It's actually pretty good.
I like
Yeah,
it.
but that's
fun.
why she wanted to send them to fire. It's a pretty good line. I like it.
That's fun. I like that.
Yeah. But yeah, ultimately they decide to vote out Caitlin in a 3-1. And then we get to the final tribal council.
I'm a tribal.
You might have noticed that the sunlight significantly disappears between that
Correct.
tribal council and the final. And it's not a trick of the sky. Oh my God, did they take so long to get the fucking final tribal ready? It was like hours. And then like the sunset, and then there was a problem with the camera, and they didn't have footage, and the problem with the microphone, and it's getting fucking late. And so none of the jury was in the mood for fucking anything. It was cold and late, and we all wanted to go home. And literally, it took like 2 hours of faffing about with production for them to get going. John spent the entirety of those 2 hours like thinking about everything he was going to say, and like Chloe and Dale thought about it for like 5 minutes and then just chatted for the next hour. Like,
yeah. No, John had everything planned out. He was ready to go.
That's why the jury is in a foul mood, because we've had enough.
Yeah.
Like, we just want to go home.
That actually makes a lot of sense. There were some moods.
I remember looking at my clock going at 7 o'clock. Great. We're going to be done by 8 o'clock. Awesome. Maybe 8:30. We didn't start till like fucking 9 o'clock. Like, we were in such a bad mood.
So late.
Yeah.
That's so bad.
Bad mood. And you can tell the jury's faces, we're just not impressed with anything anyone is saying. Like, no one is impressed. You know what I mean? Like, like they're not, we are not enjoying anything.
Yeah.
We're enjoying our own questions. We're enjoying the other jury's questions and none of their like comments.
So we get to the openings. Dale says he played an adaptable game. He had all the information. He always had a plan. And he intentionally backed off and challenged so he wouldn't be seen as a threat. Bullshit.
Didn't buy it at the time. Didn't buy it at the time at all.
Chloe didn't know what to expect. She made an alliance early and went with that. She started making big moves with the Tash vote. And then her second big move was Caitlin. John mentioned Denise 3 times that we saw, but I'm sure it was much more in the real time. He knew the challenge was going to be his weakness, but his social game was his strength, and that he went to every single tribal council. To the jury, CK, you wanted them to know what was the big thing that you told all the lies, what thing you lied about in your personal life. Dale and John both say that you don't have children, and Chloe thinks that you're not really married. Apparently, you don't have any love in your life.
That makes sense, I guess, when you think about who I was pretending to be.
Yeah.
Chloe actually said she came very close to giving the correct answer. Like, once I told her the correct answer, she's like, I almost said that, because she was looking me up and down. And she's like, the thought I had is, why is this motherfucker wearing cons? Like, what a dumb pair of shoes to wear to Survivor. Why is he wearing sneakers? There must have been a thought about why he dressed like this. And maybe it's something about the music. And then she's like, look, no, I'll just go with the wife thing. But like, she actually had the thought process. If she'd said it, it would have been pretty cool, I reckon.
Yeah. Very impressive.
Max wants to know what their dirty moves were. Dale says voted out Laurel and made a final 3 with Caitlin and then turned against her.
These weren't dirty moves. This was a bad answer.
Chloe says she knew about Brady's idol and didn't tell anyone. Also not dirty move.
I don't think
John
Chloe...
says he turned on Caitlin, much like Denise turned on Malcolm.
Yeah, we're like, oh my gosh, shut
also
up.
not a dirty move.
Chloe's answer should have been the way she fucked with me. Like, honestly. Like, who cares about how she fucked with me? That should have been her answer. She literally put a love heart on the thing when she voted me out and was like, that's for me.
Yeah.
Like, the way she dealt with me, it should have been her dirty move. And I think people would have enjoyed. I think the jury would have enjoyed that response as well.
100%.
John's dirty move probably is, I think, the Tash move, but as he says, he's not trying to own up to that too much.
Yeah.
I don't think it's the Caitlin one. I think it's Tash.
And then we get to Tash, and the evidence that she's pissed off already. She basically says, Dale, you didn't make a big move. Chloe.
Tash is the ORCA of the jury. She's so good here. She's
like, you guys all suck. I didn't like any of your final tribal speeches already. Dale, you didn't make any big moves. Chloe, voting out Caitlin isn't a big move. It's final 4. Of course you voted her out. Neither was voting me. That wasn't a big move for you. That was someone else's move. And then, John, you're underselling yourself. Give me more. Tell me about, basically it says, basically gives him the floor to be like, tell me something else I don't know. And then she wants to know about a big move, and he didn't really mention a big move at all, but he just talked more about how like the social and strategic games sort of intertwined. He voted correctly 12 out of 13 times, and as you said, the vote that he didn't vote correctly, like he was the 2-on-3-2-1, so it's still like, yeah.
Well, he actually credited 3-2-1, but he doesn't go into any of that detail. I think it was too hard to explain, which is right. But either with Tash's encouragement, I like that he brings up the 12 or 13. That really should have been in his opening, but as he says here, Liz didn't tell us they had 60-second speeches until they started. And to be honest, they probably were supposed to have longer. It's just we've been sitting there for 2 fucking hours. Like, let's get this shit done. But he should have mentioned, I think, the Tash move to Tash. I think that's what Tash was looking for.
Yeah.
She literally says to Chloe, that's not your move. It's somebody else's move. It's John's move.
You make the jurors vote a question about that person.
Yeah.
Yes.
Brady says to Chloe, what was a move that you made without me? And she says, picking the new yellow tribe. Yeah, don't love that. That's not really
I actually like that answer. I was like, yeah, you know what? I picked that fucking tribe, but I like that you're claiming it. That's what I said. I was the one whispering in your ear, but I'm like, I like that you're trying to like steal my move. I pretty much actually got my vote, I think. That one there.
She had ORCA energy and stole something.
Yeah.
No one was talking about me at all. I needed something. No one was giving me anything.
Yeah, you needed to be talked about. It needed to all be about you.
No one was
there's a lot of talk about the three of them being goats. Laurel says, no, none of you are goats. You've all played your own way. And then she says, who played the worst of the jury? And you can't say CK or Max. And they all just pile on Brady. Dale says Brady, because we didn't really talk as much. I think he's basically saying, I don't know what you did. Chloe says Brady because I was the only person you really trusted. And John says Brady because I didn't close any doors and you didn't come up to me at Merge.
Even Chris came up to me at Merge, apparently, according to John. Yeah. Even Chris. Yeah. That's the correct answer. I think if they could have said anyone, they would have said me, and that would have also been the correct answer.
Yeah. Kate just wants to know their star signs. Dale is a Sagittarius, Chloe is a Gemini, John is a Cancer. And after that, Kate still voted for him. Like, that says a lot.
Yeah, I thought she reacts positive. Does she react positively when he says Cancer?
She does not like male cancers. We talked about this on the podcast when we interviewed her. Because I was like, did that affect anything? She's like, it almost made me not vote for John.
Wow.
And then Caitlin's just like, I got nothing to say. I enjoyed playing with you all. Good luck.
I didn't know. So going into the tribal council, Max and Brady were pretty much running for Chloe. I was unsure, but I was probably leaning Chloe. And the Denise speech didn't quite swing me. John said some things that I should have been listening to that I would have absolutely been convinced to vote for, but all I kept hearing about was Denise, and I was a Malcolm stan, so that was just frustrating me more. And when he lost that last challenge, I was devastated. Laurel, Caitlin, and Tash were always voting for John, so we knew it was really what Kate wanted to do, and we knew Kate wanted a woman to win, but we didn't know if she wanted that woman to win. So from a jury perspective, we knew it was going to be 3-4, but we didn't know which way it was going to sit.
Yeah, I remember we talked about that at the time. We were saying that going into the jury, we thought that Kate was always going to vote for a woman to win, so we were surprised by that too.
And I don't think Chloe's speech was so horrible that it didn't deserve votes.
No, but also Kate had been more aligned with John than she had been with Chloe, and people want to vote for who they were with.
I think if Chloe come out of her shell more and showed who she really is, she might have got some more votes. I don't think she had at the time. She don't watch enough Survivor to know what she had to do there to really seal the deal. Considering her game had been reasonably underwhelming, she needed to do something big at Tribal to bring it home.
Yeah. And then suppose we go into closing statements from there. Dale's biggest closer is that he was never actually ever in danger. Chloe's basically said she won.
You're in danger the first fucking. Dale was in danger the first 2 fucking votes. No, I didn't know that at the time. That's a fucking lie, and half the jury knows that.
Well, that was his closing statement, where he was never in danger. Chloe won all the yellow tribe challenges, and she was the final yellow and the final girl. I like that. John was the underdog. He went to every tribal. He fought for his life. He was willing to play with fire. He wins 4-3. Zip.
Yeah.
And we're going to the beach.
And then we're going to the beach.
We will be in 4 weeks' time for Uncharted Waters, where we finally get to see Dani and Jules play the origin of these two fine ladies. We're going to the beach.
It's been so much fun to like reminisce on this, like especially like being that this was our foray into the podcasting world, like especially giving license from you who had just created it with the Canberra podcast and coming on to guest pod that with you for one episode when no one knew who I was because Sydney wasn't even out yet. Because we paralleled here. Sydney was released at the same time as Playing with Fire, so we had like competing podcasts.
I was doing both. I was doing two podcasts a week.
But it's been so fun, like reminiscing and just to like know like where we started, how we got here,
and like
it's been so much fun.
I've been the one that was doing all the Melbourne stuff, uploading onto YouTube and copying across all the descriptions. We weren't even calling ourselves ORCA. It was like halfway through the season that we finally called ourselves honorary ORCAs because
honorary ORCAs. Honorary.
I never claimed to be ORCAs. We were just guest podcasting for CK. We never took that title. It was a very we needed.
You had the Bromulo medalist on the podcast.
We didn't know he was the Bromulo medalist yet.
I think you had an idea that he was the most ORCA on the season. I don't know if we had created the ORCA concept because it came out of obviously the Canberra thing. But you knew that you guys, I think when you said, who else you bring on? Ethan, he's big. He's great. He's going to be like really good.
I knew he would be super entertaining. I had tapped TK in the beginning, but he was not available. And then like Ethan was my next.
I like TK. TK would have been reasonably like mid. You want people who are like big. Yeah. Otherwise,
I think and then Ethan jumped at the chance, and I loved that little trio. That was fun. I enjoyed muting him when he was annoying me. I loved it.
We did that a lot. You remove him from the pod.
It was muting and booting. Muting and booting.
I was like, no way.
Yeah.
But yeah, so this particular recap. And the fact that it's number one, we've gone through the whole thing, has been such fun. Thank you.
I think, look, I know I'm biased, and this season has its challenges, but I think it has a lot of merit in being number one.
Yeah. 100%.
It has incredible.
I agree with it being number one of the 11 that we had at the time. I think my personal ranking, it has been eclipsed, but it's still probably number two.
Yeah, I agree. I put One Well.
One Well is number one.
But I like this more than Canberra versus the World.
Yes.
I love the characters in it. Myself
it's a very
included,
strong
obviously.
cast.
But Annabelle, Caitlin, Laurel, Kate, so many big characters. Brady's a reasonably big character in his own right. And then the more minor characters, the quieter characters are still, they play interesting roles in the game, in the narrative. And of course, yes, watching one tribe dominate the other is generally not very fun. But the underdog story of Denise and Malcolm won the hearts of us all when we watched whatever season that was. And it's a hell of a story when it happens, right? And so it was a great story with Caitlin and John going through that in an LRG. And the caricatures that we put on, a lot of people put on characters and caricatures and bigger versions of themselves that made it entertaining. People were happy to be shown in a negative light. Obviously myself, but other people as well are shown in negative ways because Liz is happy to edit it that way. And I'm all for that. I know other creators prefer to edit in a really just fully positive way, which is really lovely. But it makes it somewhat less entertaining from time to time.
I think if people are there knowing that they are going to be a villain, lean into it. Let them edit them in a villainous way. Let them do it.
Yeah, Stephen from LRG. I don't know Stephen.
The awards.
The podcast
awards. How does John know Stephen? I don't know Stephen. Anyway, he says we got robbed of best podcast series. Well, part of it was probably the fact that we were in live reality games. We were also our own thing. I'm not saying we're going to win now that we got our own thing, but having our own thing gives us a bit more. And also,
I think the primary voting audience is American. They probably don't know what we're what we're doing.
And now we got this, like, basically no chance I'll watch us when there was like a little chance when we were on live reality games. But that's all good. We're here. I don't really care about awards from the Americans. I care about like putting.
We care
on
about the
content
ORCA
for-
award.
The ORCA and putting on content for our Australian community. Like, this is our audience, and we love you. We love everyone that's been here tonight. 3 hours. That's not the longest. Surely Warren Dirt was longer, wasn't it?
Warren Dirt was
Somehow.
longer.
Yeah, I don't know how we did that.
Yeah.
3 hours is a perfect length. What a great deep dive. We've done so many good deep dives over this 11 series. I think this was a lot of fun. I hope people enjoyed my sort of effective, like audio commentary, like, they used to do that. Oh, man, that's something we could do one day. They used to do that when you got the Survivor DVDs. Like, they would, like, back when they sold
cover?
DVDs. Yeah, you buy the DVD and there would be an audio commentary of some of the bigger players of the season doing audio commentary for the whole season. So you got like Rupert and Fairplay and Sandra all there talking about themselves, like, while
fun.
it's on.
That's
That
fun.
could be covered.
I'm
That could
happy
be
to
good.
do that with Uncharted Waters if you would like.
Yeah, after it's out, we do another recap of like we just put it on the thing and then we talk about it as it goes.
Because I'm going to be honest, when that comes out, I'm going to be really sad that I'm not podcasting about it. So I will be spamming those comments.
I'm sure you will.
You'll
be.
probably have to meet me.
So Maddie says he's been spreading the word. Maddie, international champion of Survivor, spreading the word about Uncharted Water with his American buddy Stephen Stewart will definitely know all about you. Oh, there you go, someone who knows. So I want to thank everyone who joined live. This was a long podcast, but it was a quality podcast, and I appreciate you, Dani, and you, Jules. Slightly different ending. I'm going to do a longer ending now with the old ORCA intro, and I will then put up some things and. Of course, until I think I've got the catchphrase. We will see you next time, but until then, we shall dance.
Ha ha ha.